the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, welcome back in. Oh, it's not your rando Tuesday. It's power-packed. Tip to finish. Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes to my right. The big fella, Brian Baker, swimming in the aquarium across the way. Boys, good to see you. How we feeling?
Feeling great, man. There's a nice amount of energy in the air today because we got an action-packed show coming up. I'll let you lay out the menu, but I'm feeling good. Went to the doctor this morning. I called you from the doctor's office. It was getting a little late in the shot clock, so I actually called you from the doctor's office. And you said, you know what, young fella, slow down. We got some time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was communicating with my guy so we can get the show laid out, but all is well.
I know. All I heard was somebody say in the background, hey, turn to the left, and then I heard you cough. And that's all I heard.
Come on, man.
That's all I heard in the background.
Wasn't any of that, but just know your boy's healthy and living well. And
we already have the results.
You know what? It was a quick turnaround. It was a quick turnaround. They told me I'm good. They said, get out of our office and
Pay here.
Go do your thing. Yeah, and go do your thing. Give us those credit card numbers, too. How you feeling today?
I'm good, man. Yeah. I'm good. It'll be a fun day today. We'll kind of have to navigate the waters of the live pressers today. So if you're driving around or listening, however you do, we appreciate it. We'll give you a little bit of the menu here. So we anticipate Ryan Day and Indy taking the podium at 12:45.
Okay.
So we'll carry that in full. And usually it's 15 minutes and out. It's exit stage left. I don't remember too many of these because those guys, they're on a tight schedule. It's coach, and they move minute out, and they're happy to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll have Ryan Day at 12:45, and then at 1:33, we'll bring in the Dean Machine.
Let's go.
I think that's Dean Machine. Dean Evason. By the way, contrary to popular opinion, the Jackets did not hire a former employee of a paper company in Scranton, PA. He is Creed. Did you watch The Office?
No.
I mean, I'll ask Bake when he gets done with whatever conversation he's having over
his
there.
own radio show. Right
apparently.
I used to do the same thing.
There is no question in my mind that we hired Creed's evil twin. It's awesome.
Okay.
Or a very successful twin. I'll put it that way. So that'll be good. And the more I listen to the interviews off of, the past ones off of when Minnesota fired him and now, it feels like a good fit here. Where they are as a franchise, we'll see. He has a good, genuine vibe about him. He's got that a little bit of old school, which I like, and we'll see where it goes because, the old line, he was a player, so he gets it. He gets it. Yeah, and I'm saying you have to be at that level, but he's played, 800-plus games in the NHL and comes from a tiny little town in Manitoba, Saskatchewan area, and I think it's a town of less than 5,000 people.
Interesting.
And I'm just wondering what he did growing up there, play hockey and then sit around and watch the cars rust. It feels like that's.
I'd love for you to ask him
what
that.
I may do that.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
because I'm interested in that.
But and by the way, he was talking about the passion and where it comes from. And it just reminded me also of my, Youngblood, the Rob Lowe hockey movie. And I almost heard the Dean Machine say today that he had, what's that line? It's, the fire, the ice, the drive to be the best. Summer 86, Youngblood. He has a little Youngblood in him, the drive and the fire. So I feel that.
Let him know when we talk to him. 1:33, Coach is going to stop.
So he'll come on.
Yeah.
Then we'll continue on our little journey today. And we'll bring in the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, at 2:33 to talk about a potential championship season that he may be calling.
Big Daddy stopping by. So, yeah, the show today is going to be great. We also will hand out again today a pair of tickets to the Pro Football Hall of Fame game, which is the Texans and the Bears, and that's happening next week at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton. Tickets are available at profootballhof.com/tickets. Again, that's profootballhof.com/tickets. So we'll do those at 2:00 today.
Is the rumor true, Matty, that your question to Dean Evason is going to be, are the Jackets a dark horse cup contender?
No, but I was thinking about asking him, Coach, what do I got to do to get you to put in a good word for me to be Stinger for a night? Can you make that happen for me, Coach? It's been a lifelong dream of mine growing up in this city. What does your boy got to do? You need me to come out there and take some pucks off the face at practice and give one of your goalies a rest for a day or two? I'll do it. I'll do it, Coach Dean. Whatever you need.
I think this can happen. We don't know yet whether the real Stinger would have to take the night off or whether we can find you a mini Stinger costume where you could be just his little mini me.
I'd probably have to pay the real Stinger, I would think, for that night. I would think. For the game check that they probably get. I don't know how it works, but if it's a game check.
Game check.
It might be a game check, you know? A game-to-game type
you would
of
pay
tap.
him to sit out,
Yeah.
and then you would take over.
I'll say you go sit up with AR in his presidential suite up there next to JD and everybody, you know, and you can hang out in the suite with AR, and I'll be down there, you know, running around having a good time as Stinger.
If you drop a Dark Horse Cup contender or the race for the President's Trophy on him, that'll be fun.
He'll hang up on us. That'll be the end of the interview.
Yeah. That would be fun. All right, so there's your menu today. I did see something that are we running out of athletes? Is Snoop Dogg really going to be carrying the Olympic torch ahead of the opening ceremonies for the Paris Games? Is this correct?
I haven't seen
that. He's going to be one of the last torch bearers,
I'm not mad at
which
it.
makes a lot of sense, that he might torch up right before the Paris Games.
We put another bet on this?
I think he's the last one. He's the final.
Yes, that's right. He's the final one they're going to, quote, pass it to.
Oh, my goodness.
The legendary rapper will be one of the last torch bearers to participate in the traditional relay before it reaches the final landing spot at the Eiffel Tower on Friday.
I'm here for it. Uncle Snoop does it all.
Uncle Snoop will be running down the Champs-Elysees.
What doesn't he do at this point? He's checked off so many different boxes. I feel like every time I hear about Snoop Dogg, he's doing something new. I'm all in. It's always a good time.
Kicking it at the Palace of Versailles.
Yeah, it's always a good time seeing Uncle Snoop.
That's amazing. That's an amazing honor. He's going all in for Team USA.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to join the coverage. He's been spotted hanging around with athletes. Easy now. I think they drug test at the Olympics.
You know what?
So
he'll probably hand him some goodie bags.
no word on whether he will light the Olympic cauldron on Friday, as that honor will remain a secret until the very last moment.
Where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10 for your Olympic excitement right now? A few days out.
I like the opening ceremonies.
I'm at about
drift into the games a little bit.
I'm at about a 6.5, 7. I'm in. The basketball is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're being tested. What are they going to wake up?
They're still figuring out their lineups. And, you know, the best player of all time saving the day at 40 years old, LeBron James, last 2 games has been incredible down the stretch. But I'm all in on basketball.
Whom?
I'm all in on gymnastics. The diving and swimming, I'm in. So I'm at about a 7. Right. Is golf going to do anything for you as a major golf guy? No. Yeah, I figured that.
I think I was all in on the badminton and the judo. Those sound fun to me. The All Valley tournament and then the badminton that we used to play in the side yard. Loved it. Loved that sport.
By the way,
dink and dunk on the badminton pitch.
I've never gotten to badminton. It seems like it's a little too bougie for me.
No, it's not. I don't think. No, I don't think it has. No, it's more of a. No, in fact, I think that's more of the poor man's field game in a way.
You're not good enough to play tennis? Like go play badminton.
String up a net. You got that the little thing, you know, the shuttlecock. That's what they call it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Badminton seems like a country club type of vibe to me.
Badminton?
Yeah, like we're playing badminton, pickleball, tennis, golf. Like to me, they feel like they're in the same family. Maybe I'm wrong.
I've not seen any badminton courts set up at any country clubs. Okay. It's usually in a side yard summer deal.
Yeah.
Keep the family together kind of deal.
Okay.
The beauty of badminton is you can just swing as hard as you want and you won't lose that thing. Like it's not like it's honestly it's a pretty awesome game.
Can't say I had a lot of experience playing that. Did you see the new Connor Stallion stuff that's popping off?
I mean, I've heard they're doing a Netflix deal on.
So there's this documentary, this special rolling out, and it's a whole bunch of different episodes rolling out under this umbrella. And his episode is going to be called The Sign Stealer, or not The Sign Stealer, but just Sign Stealer. And it's coming out on August 27th. The episode description is Connor Stallions shares his side of Michigan's alleged sign-stealing scheme that turned him into a viral villain. So his approach to this is going to be fascinating, whether it's Like, is he going to absorb a lot of, let's say, the blame in this, or is he going to deflect and push this on Harbaugh or some other people that were in the mix? This is appointment watching for me. I cannot wait to hear what this man has to say, because this story has kind of been out of sight, out of mind now. But here we are a few weeks away from getting the season going, and this episode is going to air the week of week 1 around college football. It's going to be crazy.
I can't believe he's doing this unless it's just for money.
Nice check.
Because there's no way. I mean, he should want this whole deal to be guesswork, accusation forever. Now, maybe he's going to lie, or maybe he's going to tell the truth. I don't know. Is he going to admit that his job, that he was hired for that reason, to diagnose the other team's signals at any cost, and whatever kind of disguise or uni he needed to wear to get into a stadium, and whatever other people he had working with him and for him and then delivering the goods to back to the team? I don't know. I mean, it feels like there's so much evidence that suggested in all of his off-campus scouting violations, it was there. You and I debated for a long time, and it's, to me, I always made the analogy of you still have to be good. It's like putting a guy in a cage and telling him, hey, the curveball's coming. Can you hit it? You may not be able to. But for me, he was sitting at a blackjack table, and he knew every other card that was coming. It's hard not to make money, and I feel like that's it. Now, you have to have a good team to be able to do it, and they did, so it was the perfect storm. But I'm really surprised, although maybe I shouldn't be if he's getting paid, because he can say whatever he wants, and I don't know how that's going to be disputed. But if you're entering into this arena, there'll be the video evidence and everything else that cropped up, the disguises, what other sidelines he popped up on, what other credentials he got approved for.
It was a wild ride, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a really wild ride. So for Michigan, their first game's the 31st, and this is going to come out a few days before that on the 27th. And just college football as a whole, you just got to gear up for a lot of different things coming at us as fans outside of this expanded playoff, where you're going to have the technology that's kind of taken over the sport, right, with the in-helmet communication and the tablets on the sideline and the automatic timeouts that are going to happen in the last 2 minutes of the second and fourth quarters. Like, there's so much change happening in the next few weeks around college football. I'm excited to see what it looks like. But getting that going, or getting week 1 of college football started with that, it's going to have the college football streets talking, that's for sure.
I mean, back in the day, it was romance. Let's steal the other team's playbook and all that. Not a lot of integrity in it. But the pressure, the desperation, all that, the plausible deniability that existed there amongst the head coach and the separation there. I mean, it's all, I thought we'd have to wait for like a 30 for 30 and not him coming out right away and saying, well, let me put my stamp on this. It's amazing. All right. When is that again?
August 27th.
Okay. Right before they boot it off. All right. We will come back and we'll talk about paying him now or later. And what are they waiting for? We'll tell you the details next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
You've waited all summer, and now is the time to take action at Buckeye Lake Marina. Join Buckeye Lake Marina on Saturday, July 27th from 9 to 5 for their massive summer boat extravaganza. Door prizes and giveaways, free food and refreshments. There will also be dock demonstrations with every available boat in the water. Take a ride aboard the latest and greatest new and used boats offered on Buckeye Lake. Don't miss Buckeye Lake Marina's summer boat extravaganza this Saturday, July 27th from 9 to 5. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for details.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you can save on red, white, or black seedless grapes. They're on sale for $1.49 a pound with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Are you or a loved one struggling with addiction? Pinnacle Treatment and Recovery Works are here to help guide you on a path to a better life. We offer residential addiction treatment, detox, and opioid treatment programs throughout Ohio that fit your unique needs. We make it easy to get started. We accept Medicaid, most commercial insurance, and our access center is open 24/7. A better life is possible. Visit pinnacletreatment.com/Ohio. Where there is treatment, there is hope.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me, pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
Your vote is essential in deciding the future of your community and your local public schools. Please check your voter registration status to make sure you aren't one of many Ohioans just purged from the rolls. If you find that you were purged, it's not too late to re-register. The registration deadline for the fall election is October 7th.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today we're going to be looking at a few showers with a high around 86. Dry overnight tonight with a low of 67. Foggy on your Wednesday morning. And in fact, visibilities could be under a quarter of a mile. And then the fog burns off by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Looking at a partly cloudy day with a few showers and thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Finding the sweet spot between the over and the under. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, fantasy draft. Maddie's on the board. No receivers off the board. He's picking 2. The first pick goes to CMC. I'm just kind of making this up. And Maddie's on the clock. And you hear that beep going beep, at the end with 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Here it is. He's not sure. He's had Justin Jefferson in his queue all summer. Yeah. He doesn't care who the quarterback is for the Vikings. And he's taking, or does he pivot in the final 3 seconds and take a different receiver?
There's something about CeeDee Lamb's production that I'm all in on. And here's why. There's really no other mouths to feed in Dallas. There's really no other threats. So CeeDee Lamb's a guy I've been warming up to CeeDee Lamb. You're a
volume guy. I get it.
I love the volume. I still think Justin Jefferson is going to be good this year. What could concern me a little bit is the touchdowns. I still think the yards are going to be really good for him. But you're not going wrong with Jamar, CeeDee Lamb. You can even talk me into Tyreek that high. Honestly, if I can get one of those guys, I'm good. But when you talk about CeeDee Lamb, AR, it's him and Dak. And it's, the running back room doesn't look that sexy. And so CeeDee Lamb for me probably would be the pick.
So it's twofold, right? It's if there aren't a lot of people, the opposing defenses can say, somebody else is beating us.
Well, that happened last year, and he cooked up 1,700 yards.
Jamar Chase won Offensive Rookie of the Year in 21, so 3 years ago. He already owns the franchise record, I believe, for receiving yards in a season and a game. And everyone believes that his career year is still coming. So he lives with his, as some people call it, his soulmate football connection, and that's Joe Burrow.
Did you see the hair today?
So I saw the buzz cut, but now it looks like we're going full bleach. Is this full Eminem?
We're going all in early 2000s. Lose yourself Eminem right here. This guy, Joey B, he doesn't give a blank what anybody thinks. We started off the summer with the backless suit at Paris Fashion Week. Right. Go back a few years ago, the man showed up to the Super Bowl in a shiny three-piece suit with a top hat to go with it. He'll rock first. He'll rock Cartier frames. I love Joey B, man. Yeah. Joey Shiesty, the fashion. I'm in on the buzz cut. With the. Now you're going to see kids doing it all in Cincinnati now. I guarantee you that.
The buzz cut is good. I'm curious about the bleach job that he did on it.
He's bringing the early 2000s back. That's what he's doing. Not mad at him.
Is that really the motivation, you think?
It's maybe just a training camp thing, too. Start off training camp, something fun, something light, then go back to whatever when the season starts. But I'm not putting anything past Joey B anymore when it comes to his aesthetics and his fashion. He's all in with everything.
He's all in, but there are some failures, we have to admit.
The backless suit didn't work for me.
Yeah.
The backless suit didn't work for me. If you had the whole back tatted up, then I think that would have looked a little better.
My goodness. That probably would have
had a little drip to it.
Yes, drip.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But you mentioned Joey B.
He went with some Anakin Skywalker hair earlier, right? There was some kind of, or was that fake?
I thought it was fake.
But then I saw him I don't know. My nephew thought it was real, and I told him it was fake, and then I had to kind of come back and say, I think you were right.
The AI stuff is terrifying.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
You just never really know what you're getting into anymore.
Do they know it's you and I talking right now, or not really?
Like I put an over-under on us for 5.5 years.
Let me ask you a question. If I could take 25% of my pay, just 25%, and they said, hey, we're going to AI you and figure this out, and you get to not work for 25% or work for 100%. I'm taking the 25 and rolling.
You're taking the former?
I think that'd be fun, right? If I could kind of control and puppet master the narrative, could I be involved in the computer programming of what's gonna?
Okay,
yeah. But if they just, I don't know how AI works.
See, I still feel like you're gonna have to grind every day though, because the news cycle with things changing so much, you're gonna have to dedicate something to the craft every day. Still,
the pain of Jamar Chase. I don't know if this is bad news for Bengals fans or just news that they knew was coming. Here's the owner, Mike Brown.
We're not going to say, oh, no, we aren't going to do that deal if it's the right deal. But it's not so likely that this is the good time to negotiate. The offseason is a better time for that. I'm not going to rule anything out, but I will tell you that the die has probably been cast. He's a key player. Next to Joe, he's our next one, and he knows that we know it. This may take a while. We are going to bend over backwards to get it done. I can't tell you when, though.
I mean,
can't tell you when, baby. We still got the fifth-year option year that'll pay him a lot of money, and then we got a tag in our bag.
If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed by this.
Or they're just used to it, yes.
You know what? That may be an even better point, because the history of this franchise has shown us that these things shouldn't be surprising. I mean, he says you don't want to do these things in the season. We're not even in the season yet. There's plenty of deals that can get done and will get done in training camp. Shefty was reporting a couple of them today around the league. So it'd be a little bit annoying for me as a Bengal fan, because the whole point of this T. Higgins dance that we've been doing with him getting the franchise tag was because he's probably moving on next year, and you're going to keep number 1 and number 9 together for years to come. And the price is only going to go up. We mentioned CeeDee Lamb a few moments ago. He's on deck to get another massive deal. And you have the framework of the Justin Jefferson deal. Even if you don't want to commit $110 million guaranteed to him the way the Vikings did. You've got framework there, and he's going to be right around that ballpark. So I don't understand what the hesitation is. Maybe this is a Jamar Chase type of thing on his side of things. It's going to be interesting to hear from him with them starting training camp today. But I'm not really getting this one, AR, because they knew this was coming, and they know what he is as a player. And if you wait, there's a chance that you're only going to have to pay more. Yeah,
it's trying to get ahead of the money. Packer Paul was texting me, and they weren't that psyched, I guess, up in Cheeseland about going all in on making Jordan Love, one of the highest paid quarterbacks. And I just wrote him back and I said, the new NFL is when you think you know what you have, you get ahead of the money. And that's what usually happens. Now, the other aspect of this is when you have a quarterback like Joe Burrow, do you have to invest in massive, massive money in your receivers? We've seen the Kansas City Chiefs trade away Tyreek Hill, and when you have Patrick Mahomes, you can win it. We've seen other quarterbacks, Tom Brady, have to make other guys better. And when Burrow, and I heard them talking about ESPN, they were talking about ESPN Radio this morning about the interesting part about if you put Joe Burrow in that category of Mahomes, Brady, that kind of guy, then a lot of these organizations, especially the Bengals, be like, well, I just paid my quarterback $55 million. I don't need a $35 million receiver. Because if he's that good, if I'm paying him that much money, he can make the above average guy be great.
My pushback to those people on ESPN Radio would be in the scenarios you just mentioned. There's Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, a Randy Moss stopping there as well. So,
I'm with you.
I hear some of that, right? But when you really add context to those situations, you have over in Kansas City a three-headed monster in the mind, more importantly, of Andy Reid game planning for playoffs and being one of the best coaches of his time. And same thing with Bill, with how good he was on defense. So, yes, you should ask a certain amount from your quarterback, but those guys absolutely need guys to get it done for them on the outside. So there's no fear here, AR, that he's going anywhere. Jamar Chase is going to be a Bengal for a while.
He's signed through 25
it's
anyway.
Just, if I'm a Bengal fan hearing from Mike Brown, I'm just like, what are we doing? Let's go ahead and get this thing done and move on to the next thing, and let's just focus on ball. Because if you get a disgruntled wide receiver going into training camp, that's not how you want to start the year.
They're in such a winning window, and I know the AFC is tough, but you're in the competition business, and you got a team. And that, I agree with you. It feels like now what he's saying to you is, well, like you said, he's not going anywhere. Let's do this next year, before his fifth year, and we'll do the contract then, and we'll pay him, and we'll kick the can down the road for one more season. But you're right. If you know what you have, and he is a star, you try to get ahead of whatever money. But where's that money really going? It's $35 million. Are we getting? How much more are we going for receivers?
Who knows? Who knows? But I just think it's not really about the money for me. It's just more so about the relationship part and taking care of your guys and everybody feeling good about the relationship within the building. If I'm Jamar Chase, I come into training camp today and I hear the owner talking about we'll get to it kind of when we get to it. I'm like, okay, after what I've done for you guys, thanks.
We'll get to Ryan Day at 12:45 and the Big Ten meetings live. But up next, should he end the suspense now? We'll answer it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Ohio Basement Authority. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com.
Come play Skyline's 75th Coney Hunt game. Use your phone to search for virtual conies, tap to collect coins, and redeem them for exclusive Skyline merchandise at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Details at skylinechili.com/coneyhunt.
Driving plays a big part in driving the local economy. It helps us all get where we're going and creates good jobs close to home. At Synovus Energy, our refineries in Toledo and Lima are a reliable domestic source of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. Plus, more than 2,300 employees and contractors work for us here in Ohio. See how we're helping local communities move forward at Synovus.com.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $229 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our best value guarantee and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com. Get the right car at Reichert. We're dealing.
With approved credit, 2024 Sentra SR FWD 24 month lease with 3,000 due at signing and 73124.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. If you are retired or in the planning stages, we can help you maximize your income. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
What a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box, Biatch.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
Whether it's a walk-off granny or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 and older, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know that project you've been working on, just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
There's nothing like ripping off your pants and enjoying some lobster bisque. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, Ryan Day at the podium. Big Ten Media Days here in about 10 or so minutes. I don't expect any bombshells. We've gotten to this point, and I really, honestly, I know there's a debate amongst fans and media alike about go to the podium. And I said it yesterday, is it the biggest lock, the biggest, what do I want to say, Maddie? The
lock of the century?
Secret or whatever. Whatever I want to say.
That Will's the guy.
Yeah, that Will's the guy, because every microphone he sees, let's put this guy in front of it because he's just awesome. He's so articulate. He's mature. He's a leader. You can hear it. But he's got to be an executor too, right? I mean, and so he could say that he could do what you said yesterday. The Will Howard is our presumptive number one quarterback going into camp. We're going to see how it's going to play out and where the pecking order stands. But I really don't see the urgency for it. I know that people say, why? It's a distraction. Is it? Or is it just a distraction for us and for the fans? And why shouldn't Ryan Day and Chip Kelly have the right to let camp play out? Now, the argument, I think, would be, and I'm not saying this isn't a good argument, hey, you name him, you get chemistry, everybody knows now, then he can start working with the guys and building something, and it takes questions away. But I think there is part of this that they owe it to the team to let fall camp unfold, even if in his mind he pretty much has an idea that Will be his starter. Do you have a problem with him leaving this hanging out there and letting camp play out? Because I really don't.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm with you. I would be very surprised if he steps to the podium here in about 10 minutes and we come out of the presser at the top of the hour with knowing who the starting quarterback is going to be. You got plenty of time here. You got a month. These guys have been working already throughout the winter, spring, summer, all of that. I'm sure he has some idea. If we always play the game of if you had to play a game today, who would be your guy? But another part of this that I think is kind of fortunate for everybody involved is Devin went through this last year. This isn't a surprise to Devin to be in a competition. Does he love it? Probably not. With how competitive he probably is, he probably would love to be the dude. But when he found out that Coach Day and the offensive staff were bringing in Will, he knew what time it was. So now all he can do is go out there and, one, show that I want to be available, because I do think that was a big part of the reason why Coach Day decided to go into the portal and get somebody else. And then, two, that I can come in, command a huddle, maybe even command a locker room, but more importantly, spin it and, make timely plays when I need to. So I don't really feel a need to rush this right now. I'm not in favor of spilling it into the season, though. Like, to me, I think when you get to week one, let's roll with somebody and let those guys gain that chemistry there. Because I also think, and I would love to ask Coach Day this, is how do you measure if you do play a couple quarterbacks early on in some of those games to where they're probably going to roll or should roll? Like in games against, Akron and Marshall and Western Michigan, let's say if Devin comes in the second half and he's playing against backups and the score's, 35-3, how do you measure that? What do you really gain from that? It's probably better competition within their own building over there at the Woody with the talent that they have, maybe rather than going in game action. So throughout camp, I'm expecting to hear that Will, Devin, maybe a guy or two after that are competing for the job. And hopefully when we get to the week of August 31st, we'll know who the guy is, because I think that's best for a team.
It's a heavy lean towards Will Howard. I know there are people say, hey, just name him and then start the pecking order and then start the competition for backup. And like I said, there are equal arguments on both sides that make sense to me. There's a reason they went out and got this guy. There is. And that they did what they did to get him. And Devin's appeared in, 6 games last year?
Small sample
He's had,
size, yeah.
right. And the other guy has had a record of he's been I don't know how many years he was a starter there.
He's a seasoned vet, though. He's got a bunch of snaps under his belt, for sure.
4 years there. So it's one of those things that I don't really think. And the other part about it is, what has Ryan Day learned between the spring game and now that would make it fair to Devin Brown or Lincoln Kienholz or whoever in saying, yep, here we go. You guys, let's do a dark night, break the cue stick. We're having tryouts for backup.
Love that scene.
Like, I feel like
love it.
I just think it's not fair to the other guys, even if he knows. Let it play out. Let Devin push him. Let him maybe look good, do what he's going to do, and then and then send the message to the team that they're trying to use training camp to get every last bit of evidence they can to make the right decision. You can't tell me. I'm all for that. If you were betting, absolutely go with Will Howard. That's where the smart money is. Mm-hmm. But I just think it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to come to the podium today in a few minutes and say, well, I know we haven't started camp yet, but in just my conversations and watching more tape, I feel like Will Howard's going to be our starting quarterback.
To me, AR, if he were going to go to Indy and know that he was going to do that, Will would be with him. I think there's a reason why Will isn't there, is because he still wants to leave a little bit of that mystery out there and allow these guys to grind it out in camp. And I can't wait to hear, if we do get, some of the preview of what camp's going to look like, how he plans on dividing up the reps, because I think that's a delicate thing too when you're talking about a guy that, while he is seasoned, he's coming into a completely different program around new players with a change that happened at offensive coordinator in the last few months as well.
Here's the other thing. God forbid somebody gets tweaked in camp and he was your name starter, then everybody knows you're going to your second choice, right? So just leave it hanging out there. But we'll find out together next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Boss on your back? Break away from the office and head on over to Delaware Golf Club. Grab a group, play 18, and afterwards unwind with a drink by the Fire Pit Bar and Patio. Online booking makes it easy to secure your tee time. So come check out Central Ohio's home for premier golf at Delaware Golf Club.
The summer sell-down is on at Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Save thousands with bonus cash on select inventory. Plus, get another $2,500 off any new Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram with your trade. One Performance, 2 locations, Georgesville and Delaware.
Trade value based on KBB, comparable, 2010 model renewal, and price of $5K.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. For years, like me, you've heard their name on the radio, you've seen their ads on TV, you've seen their trucks driving around in your neighborhood, or you've been greeted with a smiling face at a local community event. Newman Roofing. That's right. They've built their reputation on honesty and professionalism within the Central Ohio community. As a company, Newman Roofing believes in giving back to the community who has supported them over the last 32 years. It's essential to developing those long-lasting relationships with their families. Tim is a small-town guy with small-town values, and when I met and talked with him and his team, you could tell how much they love the community they serve. And you can hear those stories and hundreds of 5-star reviews to how many people trust Newman Roofing with their project and how they meet their expectations. So when it comes to your roofing needs, call Newman Roofing to receive unparalleled customer experience. So give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com. That's newmanroofing.com.
Hey, have you heard about Tim Hortons' new happy hour? Get 50% off summer menu drinks after 2 p.m., Monday to Thursday.
50% off?
Yeah. Try the new Cocoa Caramel Crunch Iced Cap, Butter Pecan Cold Brew, Mango Frozen Lemonade, Solar Splash Tim's Boost, and Berry Cherry Refresher.
There are so many options. That's really good.
Discover a new favorite with Tim's Summer Menu and enjoy 50% off during happy hour. Only at Tim's. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Terms apply.
The Buckeye Show.
What were you guys yelling on the Braxpin play? The payback game against
You know what
Virginia
I said?
Tech?
Well, everybody said, he's back. He's back. That's what everybody was saying.
The Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for Truehold. If you had a crystal ball, you wouldn't agonize over when to sell your home. You would just ask these questions. Should I sell when my home's value is sky high? Or wait and hope that the bottom doesn't drop out of the housing market? The thing is, I'm not ready to move. You don't need a crystal ball with Truehold's Sell and Stay program. You can literally sell now and stay in your home as long as you'd like. When you sell your home to Truehold for its best current value, you can fully cash out on your home's equity, and you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and all the maintenance and upkeep, too. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. You can get an offer now while your home's value is sky high and use the money to secure your retirement, pay off bills, or finance your dreams. It's your money. Do whatever you want with it. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's best value without moving. Again, that's Truehold.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
I can't believe this is real. We're finally doing our big fishing trip.
This is the year I'm doing everything I've always talked about.
Something's different about you. I feel like I'm talking to a whole new man.
Between you and me, it's Nugenix Total T that's making the difference.
Nugenix, the testosterone booster?
Exactly. Turning 40 and lower testosterone made it harder to find the drive and energy for the things that matter, like spending time with family and friends. So I tried Nugenix Total T.
That really works.
Absolutely. Nugenix is the reason we're finally doing this trip. It's why I have more energy for my family.
How do I give Nugenix a try?
Send them a text for a complimentary bottle.
Text LEAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text LEAP to 321-321. That's LEAP to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Fascinating, informative, covered in dog slobber. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, Ohio State football coach Ryan Day about to take the podium. You know what happened this year, adding the transfers, Will Howard and Caleb Downs, Quinshon Judkins, all the guys coming back, hired Chip Kelly as his OC. They just went back into the machine and said, we need more. And going after their first Big Ten title since 2020. And the bigger goal is obviously beating the rival and ending the streak. and then parlaying that into the new playoff and the expansion and then going all the way. And a lot of people expect them to do that. We do too. Quick question. How many of the head coaches in the Big Ten could you name right now?
I have no idea who the UCLA head coach is. I know Michigan State has a new coach in Jonathan Smith.
Could we go 16 of 18 maybe?
Maybe so, but here comes Coach Day at the podium
I love
now.
it. He's in his traditional plaid. Love it.
Coach Day, we'll begin with your opening statement.
Good afternoon, everybody. Honored to be here today. And, I just want to first off, thank Tony for his leadership. Probably heard that from some of the other coaches already, but it's been, significant as we've, gone over the last couple months and where we're going, and had some great meetings out in L.A., and certainly it was easy to see leaving those meetings his leadership and how strong he's been and where we're heading with all the changes that are going on across college football. And so I had great conversations with him and very excited about our leadership in the Big Ten as we move forward. It's an exciting time right now to be at Ohio State, and as we've transitioned from Gene to Ross as our athletic director, it's been great to spend time with Ross, and certainly want to welcome him into the family again, and really know that he's got a great group behind him, and we're very, very excited that he's going to be our leader in the athletic department as we move forward and the 36 sports and as we head into the fall. But it's been great spending time with him in this transition and as he takes over for Gene. But he's got great experience. He's already connected well with a lot of our players and a lot of the staff that's there, and I think he's got a really bright future at Ohio State. I just want to quickly mention, as you head into the preseason this time of year, it's a funky time because you go from spending a little bit of time with your family to now going into the preseason, and my family means so much to me as we head into the season. I just want to quickly mention, my family, certainly my wife Nina, and what she's done for me, and this going into our 6th year as a head coach at Ohio State as we head into the season. She's been an unbelievable rock and been unbelievably supportive along the way. And, my 3 children, RJ heads into his sophomore year. He'll be playing quarterback at DeSales High School, and excited to see what that brings for him. My wife Nina will, be the most stressed out person in Columbus as it starts at about noon on Friday, goes into Friday Night Football, and then we have the game on Saturday. So there's a lot that goes with that. And then and my 2 daughters, Grace and Nia, who, working hard at basketball and certainly, had an opportunity to spend a bunch of time with them, this summer. But as we head into the preseason, it's exciting preseason for us. It's been a great summer. The team that we have right now is working with urgency. They're working with purpose. It started with the guys that decided to come back, and 3 of them are here today, but it was very difficult to name 3 guys to come. I mean, it's virtually impossible to do, but we did it. We figured, these 3 guys are a great representation of who we have, but by no means do they stick out more than the other guys. There's 12 guys who decided that, they wanted to come back and play this year. They wanted to forego their opportunity to go in the NFL and come back and leave something behind at Ohio State. And, since they made that decision through the winter and the spring, now in the summer as we head into preseason camp, you can see it. You can see the look in their eye. It's a special group. And then the pieces that we've added, we're very, very excited right now. And it's a fun group to be around every day. Coach Mick's been doing a great job and some of the workouts we've had this summer. But now as we head into the preseason camp, it's going to be critically important to build the foundation. Every year, you rebuild the team. You don't just, jump back to where you were the year previous. And, we're going to work really hard to have a physical preseason camp and build that foundation, as that's going to be what's going to be the difference in the end. So Denzel Burke is one of the first guys that are here. Denzel has already had a tremendous career at Ohio State and made that decision, like one of the other guys, to come back and play his senior year. Denzel has already played a high level of football, but he's going to be one of the best corners in America. He's shown great leadership. He's made great strides as a player, but also just in his maturity. We're talking on the plane ride over here about how you approach preseason camp a lot different now in his point of his career than you would as a freshman. And he's much more intentional with everything he does. And I think he has a chance to be the best corner in America next season. Emeka Egbuka, can't say enough about who Emeka is. Emeka's an old soul. Since he's been here, he's been a warrior. He has his degree. He had to make his decision on whether he wanted to go to the NFL or not. He decided to come back with a degree in hand. And, we didn't get a chance to see the best version of him last year with his ankle injury, but we're seeing it now. And he's always been a leader. He had been a leader since he walked in the building as a freshman, but now he gets an opportunity to do that as a senior. And then last is Jack Sawyer. A lot of people lead different ways. Jack leads by his actions. It started off by being, one of the first guys to commit to me in the class as a head coach, but also, and then recruiting that class, but also deciding to come back this year. He was one of the first. Sat down with he and his dad Lyle and said, they have unfinished business here. And they started to get the guys to come back and build that group together that wanted to come back and leave a legacy behind. And so, being a Buckeye means a lot to him, being from Ohio. And, he's going to continue to lead. He's playing his best football, did at the end of the season, and will continue to. Had a great offseason. So these three guys are here. They're unbelievable representatives of Ohio State, and proud that they're part of our team. The last thing I'll just say, and then I'll open up to questions, is just that, our focus is on this preseason. It's the next step. And, sure, a lot of coaches will say it. You can't really, focus on what happened the year before. You can't get too worried about what's coming down the road. But we all know there's a lot of, noise and a lot of hype around this team. And what we can't do is, let those distractions, grab our focus from what we need to do day in and day out. We know it's going to be a long season, but we got to have a great preseason. We got to have a physical preseason. We got to lay that foundation for what's going to come as we head throughout the season. But we're very, very excited about our guys. We have great experience in that locker room and some great talent. But it's going to take more than talent. It's going to take all the no talent issues to get to where we want to be and reach our goals. So I appreciate everybody, and we'll open it up to questions.
On your left, Coach.
Dave Biddle, 24/7 Sports. Hi, Ryan, over here.
Dave.
I want to ask you about your offensive line entering camp. How do you feel about your O-line overall entering camp? And then, in addition to that, who do you expect will be your right guard, or who are the guys competing there at right guard?
Yeah, as you know, the O-line has been the area that we've been really, locked in on. I think that, coming out of the summer, their bodies look different. I think, you'll see them next week. We have some of those open camps or days of camp. They look good. Mick's done a great job with them. They've had a good summer, but we know how important that is. I mean, this team is going to go as the offensive line goes. This team is going to go as the defensive line goes, and so we know that how important the offensive line is going to be. So I think that some guys have really stepped up. Josh Fryer, to me, has had an unbelievable summer. Donnie's been much a leader. But when it comes to that right guard position, I think you're going to see, Carson Hinsman and Seth. They both can swing between center and guard. But then Tegra Shabola is someone that has had another guy who stepped up and had a good summer. Luke Montgomery. We feel like we have some decent guys in there that can fill that role. But we got to go put it on the field now and see how this training and everything that's happened this summer is going to translate to being on the field.
On your right side, Coach.
Hey, Ryan. Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette. I know you've talked about depth at receiver being a big part of what you need to accomplish in the preseason. I guess where do you feel you're at with that depth and behind Emeka, who's kind of starting to emerge in that 4 to 5 member group?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like we have a good, we're kind of top heavy there, and then where is 4, 5, 6, and 7? Brandon Ennis. You feel Brandon Ennis when you're out there. So this is going to be a great opportunity for him to do that. Jaden Ballard is another guy who's been in the program a while. We need him to step up and make an impact. He is a down-the-field threat with great speed. And, again, this is somebody that's been in our program now. And I think that's another part of this team that we have is, 2, 3, 4. These guys have been in the program for a while now. So there's been a lot of built-up springs and summers and practices and development along the way, and so we need JB to step up, and he's been charged with that challenge along the way. Bryson Rogers is another guy that gives us some playmaking ability in the slot. He's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger. He needs to continue to play that way because he has the ability to run routes and get open against anybody in the country, in my opinion. Kojo Antwi is somebody that has to step up as well. And then we have some other young guys in there that have an opportunity to do that. So, that 4, 5, 6, and 7 is going to be critical in solidifying the wide receiver depth. But that's going to have to happen this preseason.
Me? Yep. Tim May, Letterman Row on 3.com. Ryan, I'm just wondering, have you told your team to embrace these expectations for this season? And number two, in your mind, how legit are these expectations?
Well, I think anytime you're at Ohio State, we know you're going to have expectations, but there's always going to be chatter. There's always going to be noise, and it's our job to block all those things out and just focus on what really matters. And I think especially this time of year, the easy thing to do is focus on, the goals, focus on the end of the season. But that's really is a waste of time if we don't build the foundation right now. Now, our guys, they know what the expectation is. You've heard some of them say, what their goals are. We're not going to shy away from that. We want to win the rivalry game, be right in this stadium right here, win this Big Ten championship, win a national championship. We know that. But at the same time, that can't be our focus, because that's a distraction from where we are right now. And so where this season goes and what this team looks like is going to look a lot different than it did last year. And this is a new journey. We've got to rebuild that to get to where we need to be. And that started last winter. But the next step is now in preseason. And so, we know what the expectation is. Every time, I've gone into a season at Ohio State. I guess this is going to be my 8th season now. 6 as the head coach. You expect to win every game. That's just what it is. And if you don't think that's the case, try losing a game at Ohio State. I mean, you're expected to win them all. So that's not new. We embrace it in recruiting, and we want to make sure that those type of people are in our program.
Ryan, Jimmy Watkins, Cleveland.com. In delegating play calling duties to Chip, obviously that's going to change your perspective on the game days, change your responsibilities on game day a little bit. How might that change the way you manage games on a situational basis?
Well, I think this year there is a change with the 2-minute warning. I think that needs to be something that we take into consideration. Just how the games are going to change at the end of the game. But other than that, I feel like I've always had a pretty good handle on that. So going into each game, we'll have a game plan in place. Chip's here for a reason, to run the offense. But I think it's my job as the head coach to look on the horizon and figure out what's coming. And in this conference, have experience of what's coming down the road, the games we need to win, how we need to win, also with the type of players that we have. So that'll kind of be my input in the offense, knowing, what we're doing. And the great thing for he and I is, we see things the same way, and we've been in the same offense together in our careers. So I think there'll be a lot of that. But Chip's one of the best offensive minds in the history of college football, in my opinion, and he's a great play caller. So he's got to do that. He's just got to go and get a feel for our guys and let them call it. But in terms of the management of the game and everything, it'll allow me an opportunity to be on both sides of the ball, including special teams, and have a great feel for that and making those decisions.
Hey, Coach. Mike Regalado, Bruin Report Online. Sticking with Chip, last few years I've been able to see his innovation and his creativity with players. Aside from that, how excited are you to see what he can do with this team, and what else does he bring to your program?
Well, I think when you look at any offense, what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out what plays maximize the guys you have in the locker room. Chip has a background of doing things a lot of different ways. I think everyone immediately goes to the spread offense, and when he was at Oregon and some of the no huddle stuff. But he's at UCLA. You saw him do things with 3 tight ends in the game. Before that, there was a lot of 2-back stuff. There's a lot of different versatility in his background, and so I think the idea is, all right, what fits our guys? It starts with the quarterback, and then it goes with the offensive line, the running backs, the receivers, and how that all gets put together. I think he would tell you he's very excited about what he has, in terms of the talent level, on the perimeter, up front, the running backs, the quarterback options, the tight ends. So that's the journey that we're on. What is it that fits that? And then it's my job as the head coach to make sure it fits complementary football across the board, and that the offense is complementing the defense. And so in terms of the second part of your question, what he brings, for me, turning it over, I really wanted to have somebody that, had head coaching experience. Now, never thought that, you'd have somebody that was a head coach the way he has been in college and in the NFL and that background. And so it allows me a little, more of a peace of mind, and certainly a lot of trust there. I mean, I trust Chip with my life, and that's a big part of anytime you're handing something over like that you've done, almost your entire career.
Coach Ryan Day, thank you so much for your time.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, there is your head coach. I think if there were some betting odds on questions, one certainly was a shock that didn't get asked. We'll react to all of this. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and recap Ryan Day at the Big Ten football meetings. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan. Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1
My name is Dr. Ray Tessner. I'm an orthopedic surgeon in Columbus, Ohio. I've been involved with taking care of athletes and aging athletes for over 35 years.
Dr. Ray Tessner knows a thing or two about joint pain. And one thing he's a big believer in right now is regenerative medicine.
The advantage that I see in the regenerative medicine that there's really no downside to it.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting way to deal with joint pain, using natural concentrated healing agents from your own body to go to work on achy joints, restoring and repairing damaged tissue.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Tired of that pain in your knees, hips, back, and shoulder? Before you go under the knife, get a second opinion from QC Kinetics. You really can get lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
QC Kinetics has become a leader in the regenerative medicine field.
Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof, but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444 roof.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money, unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. How often do you compare yourself to others? It's easy to envy friends' lives on social media when you only see the good parts. But comparison is the thief of joy. Online therapy helps you focus on what you want, not what others have, because your best life is better than the idea of someone else's. Visit betterhelp.com/Carlin today to get 10% off your first month.
The Fan Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall, back from the Chili Dogs. Press conference Tuesday rolls on. You hear Ohio State football coach Ryan Day there saying all the right things in his Big Ten Media Day presser. The boys are going to break it down. He was talking about how it's going to come down to that newish phrase you've been hearing from him, the no talent issues. Non-football stuff, I assume that is. Now, we've also heard the introductory press conference for the 11th head coach in Blue Jackets history, the third in 4 years. That's Dean Evason, formerly of the Minnesota Wild, where he went 147, 77, and 27 and made 4 playoff appearances. You also get to hear Dean live with Rothman and Ice at 1:33. The baseball tonight, Guards trying to get out of this 3-game slide. Game 2 against the Tigers at 6:40. Reds at the Braves at 7:20. This one is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Mark a call, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Like Yoda, Rothman will limp onto the golf course, talk about how stiff his back is, wonder how he can even make it through a hole, and then proceed to kick your ass. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, second hour of the program. Off the cleats of Ryan Day. Programming note, we'll have brand new Blue Jacket coach Dean Evason coming up at 1:33.
Let's go.
Dean Machine. And I'll tell you what, I applaud his honesty today, too. Somebody asked him about, they play his former team, the Minnesota Wild, in the first, 5 games. I think it's home and away. And he dropped the, I think it's always bull when a coach says it doesn't matter, it doesn't.
I love
and
that.
Then he dropped it. They fired me. I
love that because I get sick of the player coach speak of we're just taking it one game at a time, and some of the games matter more. They do. Yeah. We're human. You're gonna feel the emotion. You're gonna feel the adrenaline. Just keep it real with us. I like that.
Is that a quick bite that you have there, Bake, from Dino?
It's actually about 38 seconds, the whole thing. But
is the first part just the part I mentioned?
I believe so.
Let's hear the first 10 seconds.
You know what I dislike is when ex-coaches go in and say, "Oh, this game means nothing to me." That's such bull. Of course it means something to you, right? I mean, they just fired me last year.
Of course. Fired me.
I love it.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He'll be on at 1:33. So, all right, let's handle the elephant in the room. The question wasn't asked. Let me tell you how sometimes these things work. You get one question. There were 5 that I think were asked. 5. Ryan Day has the first 7 minutes or whatever he takes, 7.5.
Yeah.
The other 7.5 go to the media. And so you ask the question that you feel you're going to get the best answer to. So some people were like, you know what? I'll get him in one-on-ones later. I'll get my own quarterback question. I'm not going to burn it here when I'm going to get a cliche. But you and I did look at each other, and I thought when he was talking about Chip Kelly, I think it was the 4th answer, about Chip and the offensive mind and how great it is.
He said, I trust Chip with my life. I love that.
Put your life in another man's hands.
That's a brotherhood.
Put his
right
life
there.
in yours. Yes. And so, and it allows Ryan Day to be, as he put it, he didn't say this, but like on all 3 sides of the triangle, offense, defense, special teams. Mm-hmm. And I looked at you and I said, all right, here comes the quarterback question, because he actually mentioned the word quarterback. And then it was another Chip follow-up. And so we got the offensive line question, the wide receiver depth question, the expectations question on whether he agrees with the hype, the Chip Kelly impact, and then the follow-up Chip Kelly impact. That was your Fab 5.
No quarterback stuff.
That was your
very surprising.
Your Fave 5.
Interesting, because it's kind of the elephant in the room for this team.
How close is it?
Yeah.
Where's the battle? How much will camp play out?
Question,
Could it drip into the season? Would you want to nail it down early so the starter can get most with the ones and build the chemistry? Is it fair to the other guys to make this an open race in camp? What will you prioritize in deciding who gets the job? Mm-hmm. It just felt like there had to be one, and there wasn't. And it's okay, and I'm not bashing. I've been on that side of it. That's why I'm explaining to you how it goes. If you're going to get him one-on-one, you're like, I'm not going to burn mine, so everybody gets my answer. Because I want to ask the question the way I want to ask it, and you'll do that one-on-one, and you'll get it for your outlet. I'm just giving people a little peek behind the curtain on how these things unfold, and so I think that's what it was. If there were only going to be 5 questions, now, if you would have told me there'll be 5 questions and there won't be one about the quarterback, I would have made the bet and lost.
Me too, because I would have been with you on that. One thing that I thought was really well said by Coach, and a quote I'm going to remember, is just kind of outside of the football stuff, outside of the X and O stuff, was him saying it's going to take all the no talent issues to reach our goals. I think that's going to be the message to his guys throughout the coming weeks and obviously in season, because he knows, they know that they have the dudes to get it done this year, but it's the handling of the noise. It's the maybe pushing aside the egos if you're not getting enough balls coming your way or whatever it may be. I thought that was really cool to hear from him, was that quote when he said it's going to take all the no talent issues to reach our goals. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about the quarterbacks, and the offensive line thing is absolutely a headliner right after that for me, because we can talk about all the weapons and the running backs that they have. But if they're not getting pushed consistently, it's going to be a much bumpier ride for them along the way. Still think they could be very good, but that's going to make it more challenging. But I remember hearing Nick Saban talk the other day, and he just talked about when some of the best teams he ever had were veteran teams that didn't need the coach to push them all the time. Yes, you're going to have the coaches getting on them and getting after them, but when you can have guys in that locker room from the top down help lead the charge too, that's going to be a great thing, and that's why he went on to say he won a bunch of natties. So I think this year's team could have that. In a weird way, it could mirror what Michigan had going on last year, just as far as the seasoning that team had. But like Coach Day said, they got a long way to go, and it's going to start here in a few days. But that quote I'm going to remember coming out of today is that it's not the talent stuff, it's the non-talent stuff that we really got to lock in on to get to where we want to get.
So there's a word that never gets thrown out around here, and that's rebuild. And because you know how the cliche goes, they don't rebuild, they reload.
Yep.
Ryan Day mentioned rebuild a couple times, and what he meant by it was they need to rebuild from a foundation standpoint. He knows that everything you just said is out there. You heard him talk about the noise, the expectations, the chatter, all those words he threw out there today. The all-in effect that you talked about with Michigan, I remember, so last week I said to you, we talked about the captains and how many captains, and that could be a question that I thought might have been tossed out too. How many guys will you have as like named captains? But it does feel like no matter how many guys are named captain of this team, that there's a lot of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of fingerprints on this team. That's what they want. They want a self-sustaining team. Self-sustaining scallop farm. Say that 3 times fast. And they feel like if it is self-sustaining in the locker room and there's a lot of guys with their imprint on it, then you have accountability in a lot of areas. And I think that's a great point that he made today was that it's a new journey with old goals and a lot of vengeance and stuff that's built up that should play its way out. But we can't play it today.
Yep.
And I think the one thing he's a little worried about is getting ahead of the goals. Goals are there for a reason because they're down there. Mm-hmm. If you could reach your goals tomorrow, who would set them? And so that's, I think, what I got out of this press conference today was that whatever championship foundation they want to build to knock off those tombstones from last year, that has to start now. And so he gets it. He talked about the O-line and the D-line being the foundations of the team, no doubt about it. I also liked when he dropped it takes more than talent. It takes more than talent. That's him acknowledging how talented they are on paper, and then how do you become a team?
Yeah.
And so they've got it. They've got it in interesting areas that they need to develop it. And he talked about the receiving depth, the evolution of the O-line, the quarterback he did not talk about, but we know it's there. And he talked about the 3 dudes that he took with him to Indy on how they can be, on why they're there. And they all have different kind of reasons and different impact on this team. It sounded very much like that each one of those guys has goals, but they all have the same one, which is unfinished business. Mm-hmm. So that's where they are.
Yeah, man. And, you mentioned the wide receiver depth, and he mentioned what kind of slots 4 through 7, and kind of called out in a good way. Jaden Ballard, right, is a guy that they really want to get going and that they believe in. But it's not just that room; it's the team from top down. When you talk about potentially playing 17 games this year, you're going to have guys, I think, early on get some valuable reps. That way, even if they're young guys early on in the season with those first 3 games against Akron and Western Michigan and Marshall and those teams, maybe when you get down the road and you get into November, those guys can become better players. So I think depth is going to be more important than it's ever been this year when you talk about a team like Ohio State with championship expectations.
Yeah. All right. We'll sprinkle in some of those sound bites as we go throughout the show. If you'd missed them, we'll come back with NFL talk. Aaron Rodgers has been very public about wanting to play with a certain receiver. Well, that receiver may want a different quarterback. We'll talk about it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Low testosterone causes many issues, including low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, the leading men's sexual health practice in our area for treating low T. And if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone. We've successfully treated many men for the condition and seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're like most men with low T, within just a few weeks, your energy will return, that brain fog will disappear, your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So call us and make a true life change. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations, just off 270 in Hilliard and near the Medical Mile in Westerville.
More and more people are falling into problem gambling. Mary Haven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance.
Confidential and judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today.
Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend is back. Shop buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and special offers on diamond engagement rings. Visit us at Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, Friday, July 26th and Saturday, July 27th on Sawmill Road.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. And aspiring comedian.
That's fun. What's your best joke?
All right, 2 windows were hanging out side by side. The first window says, "Sure is a hot day." The other one says, "Ah, a talking window."
That's pretty good, Wilson.
Bet you can't top that one.
Well, at Pella, we don't have the talking windows, but we do have the windows your friends will talk about.
Dang it, that's good.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
The Logan Heating and Cooling Fan Golf Classic at Columbus Country Club is coming. Help fight cancer at the Ohio State Comprehensive Cancer Hospital.
Visit 971thefan.com to bid on auction items, including tickets and sports experiences.
Hey, have you heard about Tim Hortons' new happy hour? Get 50% off summer menu drinks after 2 p.m., Monday to Thursday.
50% off?
Yeah. Try the new Cocoa Caramel Crunch Iced Cap, Butter Pecan Cold Brew, Mango Frozen Lemonade, Solar Splash Tim's Boost, and Berry Cherry Refresher.
There are so many options. That's really good.
Discover a new favorite with Tim's Summer Menu and enjoy 50% off during happy hour. Only at Tim's. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Terms apply.
Find great prices on summer favorites this week at Meijer. Get fresh local blueberries for $1.49 and Meijer chips 3 for $5. Plus, the 7 for $7 sale is back. Mix or match hundreds of items and pay just $1 each when you pick any 7 or more. Eckrich hot dogs, Meijer ketchup, and select Coca-Cola products, plus deposit where applicable. To round out your summer cookout, shop low Meijer prices and the 7 for $7 sale this week only. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in store or in the Meijer app.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Hey, Ohio! Make memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio State Fair, July 24th through August 4th. Experience the food, entertainment, animals, shopping, rides, and more. July 24th through August 4th. Tickets on sale at ohiostatefair.com.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state. The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at onnradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today we're going to be looking at a few showers with a high around 86. Dry overnight tonight with a low of 67. Foggy on your Wednesday morning. And in fact, visibilities can be under a quarter of a mile. And then the fog burns off by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Looking at a partly cloudy day with a few showers and thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Listen, learn, lay the points. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, CBJ head coach Dean Evason, 133. We'll get the Dean machine to call in.
Love it. Love it.
As he's floating around town, probably trying to find a solid place to stake his claim. All right, so we talked a lot about the DeVante Adams to the Jets. Like Aaron Rodgers wants to make that happen. And apparently there's another side of this, which is that Raider fan is still trying to make Tom Brady to the Raiders happen. But it's not just a fan. If you believe it, DeVante Adams says, I could use an upgraded quarterback right here in Vegas, that I don't have to go to the Jets to get my quarterback. So if the last 2 weeks of the podcast clips and Netflix moments haven't convinced us, here's yet another podcast clip that probably will. He was recently on, was it the Club Shay Shay podcast?
Club Shay Shay with Unc.
Talked a bit about how cool it would be to play with a certain QB.
How's Brady?
Yes.
Oh, wow, damn. You didn't let me answer the question. You didn't let me finish the question, Tay.
I know exactly. Hey, I knew it when you said Tom Brady. I knew what you said. Let me see what he's going to say. And then you got to talk about Odie is, I don't care. I don't care.
You would take Tom in 47, 48?
58 right now. Hey, nah, Tom know about how I feel about him, man. And the other part is I think I'll be the first person that played with Tom and Aaron. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's getting older, but I mean, he got to still be able to throw it better than, half these dudes in the league.
He can spin it.
So.
But you better be able to protect him because he ain't going to be able to take them hits better.
And he ain't going nowhere either. He's going to sit right there in that pocket. So you better have a nice, secure little home for him in there. That's for sure.
It is crystal clear that DeVante Adams wants out of Vegas. Or
just a better quarterback.
Well, here's the thing. You're probably right in saying that, and he caught himself right there when he said he could probably throw it better than the guys I have, which is what I think he
said
wanted
half
to say.
the dudes in the league.
But I know.
What he wanted to say was Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell.
There you go.
Yes.
You nailed it right there, because if I'm Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, I'm like, dang, this dude isn't rocking with me at all. And so this has been a rolling theme throughout the last, month when it comes to DeVante Adams. I'll say this. I looked earlier. The Las Vegas Raiders over-under for win total this year is 6.5. If Tom Brady was their quarterback, I bet you it'd be 9.5. What do you think? What do you think that number would be? If Tom Brady had, 47, wherever he's at right now.
Well, in human years, I think he's that age. In like robot years or whatever else he's putting in his system.
Their win total is 6.5 right now. If Tom Brady was their guy, they are 46 years old, and he'll turn 47 next week, August 3rd. So his birthday is coming up next Saturday. What do you think their win total
Tommy.
Would be? I got 9.5.
The over-under would jump 3 wins.
They're still in the tough division with the Chargers and obviously the Chiefs. But I think Vegas would grant them 3 more wins.
Sounds fine to me, possibly more. I'm trying to think of the games that they would lose that they wouldn't lose now. So they probably, because I'm going through their schedule real fast, for sure. You know what? I'll tell you the game that they probably would lose that they wouldn't lose now, and that may be the Browns game in Vegas. That could be that one. Now, that defense against Tom Brady, who Shannon said, statue, the Browns would still probably win that game, but I don't know what the spread would be. I really don't. And, home against Kansas City, they're still losing that game. They are. Right?
I mean,
are they much more competitive with them? Of course. But, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. 3 is probably the safe number. That's a good number.
Get them to 9.5.
Yeah. Are they a double-digit win team with him? That's it. You're right.
The Raiders right now aren't serious to me at the quarterback position. Like, I don't know what they were doing this offseason. Maybe they had their eye on somebody in the draft and they couldn't swipe them there. But when you're rolling into a year with the 2 guys that they have, you're not making a bunch of noise. And I'm with DeVante. You know how I've always felt about Tom Brady. Like, I'm with him. Roll him out there now. Give him a few weeks to get going. The big thing is what you guys are highlighting is that offensive line. But as far as spinning the rock, and getting it to guys like DeVante Adams. The one guy I can't wait to see get busy for them is Brock Bowers, though. Like, we watched Brock Bowers the last couple of years.
Like him.
Around college football. Georgia just wrecked the game, right? Wrecked the league. And they've got Michael Mayer from Notre Dame as well. So they're an interesting team with Antonio Pierce as their head coach, but they're just not serious at the most important position.
Yeah, Maddie, when I was throwing passes to Brock Bowers on Radio Row at the Super Bowl,
that did happen.
You were analyzing it. You obviously picked up on what I picked up on. Yeah. The guy's a football player.
He can go.
I needed to see it for myself.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball to him, but
he can go.
You're right. It's the weird part for me is that DeVante's kind of in a really weird spot. You know, he can't really go anywhere. He can't really force his way out of there. I don't think he even wants to truly force his way out.
Really? I think after everything I've heard from him this offseason, I think he wants
out. There's been enough reunion rumors for him to lean into him, and he hasn't.
Imagine if you heard me on somebody's podcast and they brought up another radio host and I got that excited about it. As soon as the guy didn't even get a chance to ask me the question, and I'm saying, hell yes, I want him.
Here's the difference. If you were comparing me to the greatest radio host in the history of the world, I'd have no problem with it. And that's what happened there.
Well, I'm just saying
DeVante was comparing his quarterbacks to perhaps the greatest guy to ever play.
Yeah, but it's not even that for me. It's just the excitement he had of even talking about somebody else, and then he's done this at
I'll give you that
multiple spots. And I think no
right.
matter who you are, when one of your guys is glowing about somebody else, like imagine your girl
never played with him.
Imagine your girl getting asked about some dude that's single, and she just starts saying, "Hey, hell yes, bring him in here." When she comes home, you're gonna be like,
Tom Brady's not as attainable, right? He owns part of the team, right? I mean, it's.
Doesn't even let him get the question out.
He doesn't even let him get the question out. And he's saying, give them to me.
It feels like this has a little hall pass feel to it. Like it's so unattainable, you can talk about it. It'd be like saying in your scenario with the girl, it'd be like, if you name a Hollywood actor, then you wouldn't feel bad about that because it's unattainable.
No, what you're saying is logic, is based in logic. I guess I'm just saying what the other side of this could be when you go into the locker room. That's the part I'm focusing on.
Let's bring it back to real, and I think what you said is real. It wouldn't make them feel wonderful. The correct answer is, guys, Tom Brady is perhaps the greatest quarterback to ever play, and he's retired. The guys I have, we're going to work.
You know what else you say?
You're right.
DeVante Adams, Aiden, Gardner, if you guys are mad, who else are you going to throw the ball to? You're throwing it to me, so get over it.
I don't know if that's the way to build a relationship.
Is it wrong, though?
Where else you going to go?
Exactly. I don't like where else you throwing the ball?
From the Reds guy. He's a
No, that was completely different. That was completely different. As an owner, that's a joke. You don't ever say that. But DeVante.
But as a receiver to a quarterback?
Because Antonio Pierce is going to say the same thing. Get the ball to DeVante Adams.
I'm getting kind of afraid that Maddie one day might say to me, like, who you gonna host with?
Come on.
Anybody else but me?
You and I are riding this thing out for a whole other decade. Easy.
Dean Evason up next from the Jackets. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Call 614-502-5220 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $229 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our best value guarantee and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com. Get the right car at Reichert. We're dealing.
With approved credit, 2024 Sentra SR FWD 24-month lease with $3,000 due at signing and $731.24.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things that you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knee? Arthritic pain like I was having in my knee? Maybe your hip, your back, your shoulder? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that you can get lasting relief from. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day here in Columbus, led by Dr. Ray Tesner. I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Listen, my dad was having knee pain. I was having knee pain. So we went over to QC Kinetics, and they were able to help us out. And 2 years out, I'm still feeling good. My dad can still move around. So learn how QC Kinetics can treat pain and enhance your joints and restore your mobility and give you long-term lasting relief with no downtime. So check them out. Go to 380-208-4544 or head to one of their offices in Dublin, Gahanna, or now the new one that's most recently opened in Grove City.
One of the most important Buckeye football seasons ever is coming. The Fan is your home for all the news and interviews you need as fall camp approaches. Join us. We're a friendly bunch of degenerates. Your Buckeye station, The Fan.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey. That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick. What's going on? Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop. But this is a jewelry store. Exactly. But the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct. But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too. Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry, it's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, he'd look like me?
Go where everyone goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, outstanding day today. And this is very cool because the more you listen to Dean Evason talk, the more you can buy in that he will bring a lot of that hardworking lunch pail guy that made him a player and a coach and that edge back to the Jackets. He's your brand new head coach of the Blue Jackets, Dean Evason. All right, Dean, welcome to town. I hope things are going well for you. Nice press conference today.
Thank you. Yes, we're really looking forward to it, obviously, to, continue what has been already obviously established here in Columbus. We're Don Waddell and myself, and once we get everybody together with the coaching staff, looking forward to putting the product on the ice so we can win hockey games.
All right, before we get to all that, let's get a little bit of the background. So, Flin Flon, Manitoba. I know a Donnie Schiffhauser from Mystery, Alaska from Flin Flon, Manitoba, but give me a little bit of take on growing up in that area and playing hockey and maybe sitting around and watching the cars rust. That is a town of about $5,000?
I don't even know if it's that, but it's it's up north in Manitoba. I was born there, lived for 3 years, and then to be honest, I moved about 5-6 hours north of Flin Flon, a place called Thompson, Manitoba. Not a lot to do up there in northern Manitoba except to play hockey, which obviously suited me just fine. Able to hone your skills on frozen, obviously, lakes and backyards. So I absolutely loved it. My family's still in Manitoba. Love it, but Flin Flon's actually a good place to be from.
Coach, out of the gate, you referenced product on the ice for, some Jacket fans that maybe didn't get to watch a bunch of Wild games and looking forward to what you're going to do as their new head coach. What do you want the product on the ice to look like for fans that are going to be watching on a nightly basis?
Competing every single night, every single shift, every opportunity that we get, we won't get outworked, and that's something that hopefully people seen in Minnesota recognize that that's what's going to happen. I know, just speaking to other coaches, that when we came into cities, they said we have to bring our work ethic up because they're going to work hard every night. We might get beat on some nights with a skill set or a bounce here and there, but our hockey club won't get outworked on any given night. We will play a high-tempo pressure game. Clearly, we'd love to score goals, pretty goals, as many goals as we possibly can, but if we don't have the puck, then we're going to work, to get it back.
Dean Evason with us, brand new CBJ head coach, 640 points percentage, ranks him fifth among active NHL coaches with 250-plus games, and he's our guy now. Let me ask you, when you got this job and you kind of went through the process, I mean, most fans will say, were you already scribbling lines on a napkin, or what do you have out of the gate here, Dean? What do you feel like this roster presents you just in the first year, if anything?
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people mention and talk about like our young players, that they're young and skilled, but I think people forget that there's a core here, a core of veteran leaders and veteran players that are going to lead our young players. Sure, we have young players, but we need depth. And if we can have depth in all areas, young, old, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter if you played 1,000 games or one game. You're going to earn the right to play and earn your minutes when you get on the ice. So I'm looking forward to not only coaching our young group and our skilled young group that everybody talks about, but I'm looking forward to coaching all of our team and making it exactly that, a team, playing hard for each other each and every night. And like I said, once you pull that jersey over your head, nobody cares if you play 1,000 games or one game. You're a Columbus Blue Jacket, and you play hard for each other.
Let me ask you, just from a philosophical standpoint with the young talent you talked about, is this a earn ice time or a learn by doing it in game situation? What's your philosophy on that with young talent?
Well, there's a little bit of both, right? You've obviously, if you have earned the right to be here, then now you have to earn your ice time. There's a lot of guys that say, well, I want to play on the power play or I want to play on the penalty kill. Well, you can do that. Just earn that right to do it. Make us put you in those situations. Make us put you on the ice because of what you do, not only in games, but in practice, in the gym, how you conduct yourself. You earn the right to play. And again, it's not going to be given to players. And I think that's the nice thing about having the fresh start for not only myself, but the coaching staff that we're going to work through to put together here, is that we have that opportunity to stress to the group that this is an earned situation. It's not a right. You don't have a right to play in every situation or different situations. You have to earn it. And if you do, then you'll play.
Coach, you mentioned the fresh start. I wanted to ask you this. From your time in Minnesota as the guy until now, what are some of the things you can take from that job and that learning experience and infuse it into who you are now and hopefully make you a better coach?
Well, tons. I don't think we have enough time. That and everybody's like, well, what you learn different systematic stuff. You learn how to communicate with players. There's things that I would do in press conferences that might be a little bit different that I stress in pre-scouts. There's the nice opportunity about honestly getting let go in season is that you have the opportunity to watch the league for the rest of the year, how different teams conduct themselves systematically. If you look yourself in the mirror and you evaluate and you say, well, I didn't do anything wrong. They screwed up by by firing me. Do I agree that they should have fired me? No, but it happened. So why did it happen? What part did I take in that? And I can evaluate that, be accountable, just like we want our group to be accountable. Look yourself in the mirror, correct the things that you think that will make you a better coach. And at this point in my career, I truly believe I'm a better coach today than I was the day I got fired.
Dean Evason with us, brand new Jackets head coach, led the Wild to appearances in the Stanley Cup playoffs each of his 4 full seasons, now with the Jackets year 1. Another question about, like, talent and core and skill. Do you like putting, like, young, skilled players together, or do you like having, like, an on-ice mentor kind of situation? And I'm kind of thinking of, you know, the young guys they have here and that we have with Kent Johnson and Marchenko and Fantilli. And, you know, would you ever put 3 young, skilled guys together? And then the other question I would have, like, if a guy like Boone Jenner and the mentoring that he could do for a Fantilli, does that make sense on the ice?
100%. I think all of it does. And I don't think there's one correct answer to that question, because we're going to go through the process here of training camp, go through preseason. We're going to go through line combinations, deep pairs, figure out who works with who has a chemistry with who. And absolutely sometimes an older guy or a veteran guy will work really well with a younger guy that a mentor and teaching. But sometimes 2 younger guys will feed off each other as well and play well together, and all of that. It's no different than your D pair. So we're going to go through that process, but we aren't afraid. I'm not afraid to play young guys. I think I've got a track record of doing that. And again, our veteran people or our older core guys will understand from day one that the job isn't necessarily theirs. Sure, they've earned the right to start there, but if somebody plays better and earns the right to play ahead of somebody, we don't care how many games you have. So our group will know that right away and straight up.
I want to ask you about Johnny Gaudreau. This is a guy there, you know, there's a lot of excitement a couple years ago, Coach, when he said he was coming to Columbus, and the fans, rightfully so, felt good about him coming in here and doing some good things for this hockey club. But just your thoughts on him now as a player and how you could possibly help him take his game to higher heights.
I feel incredibly excited about coaching Johnny Gaudreau, from watching him from afar, speaking to players that have played with and against him and coaches. He has a drive. He has a passion. He has, the ability, obviously, offensively to score, but he competes his butt off. And that's something that we are going to lean on. That's something that we are going to ask him to do, is lead in that department, not only the offensive department, but in his work ethic department, which he has throughout his career, leading young guys and old guys. I'm excited to get after it with him.
Great time visiting here with the brand new head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Dean Evason. When you were a player, you know, we've heard, you know, and you kind of learned how to play the game, and people, your kind of reputation precedes you a little bit about a guy that was tough, maybe even had a little temper at times. Is that the edge you bring to your team behind the bench? Or are you a little more even keel? Give us a little take on just your emotions as a coach, how you try to balance those.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about that earlier, about, you know, what you'd correct. There's times when all us coaches get a little heated, and certainly with referees, that's one area that I've learned to pull back on. The refs are human beings. They make mistakes. We all yell at refs at certain times. There's no question about it, but that's an area that I have to hold my composure and stay calm with. But as far as being excited on the bench and jacked up when we score a goal, yeah, I get excited. I think it's natural. I don't think it's necessarily the right way to go is just to be, you know, stoic back there and just standing and your hands in your pockets and you score a goal. I'm as excited about scoring a goal as the players are. So the odd time we'll get excited on the bench. You can throw your arms up, what have you. I think it's good to show the players that you have passion. And it's not even showing them and making it phony. It's just real. And that's who I am. Now, having said that, do you have to hold your composure in, chaotic situations when things are going a little bit crazy? There's line changes all over the place and situations where it's getting out of hand and the guys are losing their cool. Do you have to stay calm and cool and calm the group down? Yeah, there's different situations like that as well. But I don't think it's a bad thing for anybody to see anyone being passionate and have the love and the drive and the desire to win and score goals.
That's the fit for our city. You know that, and having played against them and now being the leader of it. So we wish you a lot of good luck and success, and have a great time putting down the roots here in C-Bus. We hope it's for a long time. Thanks, Coach. Be well. We'll talk again soon, I hope.
Thank you, guys. Looking forward to diving into the community and getting to know our fan base really well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dean. Dean Evason from a little town called Flin Flon, Manitoba, way up there. And you know the old saying from Flin Flon, if you don't play this game, Matty, with a big heart and a big bag of knuckles in front of the net, you don't got dinky do.
There you go.
That's it. All right, we come back with Buckeye Bulletin, more from Ryan Day from Indy, and kind of shaping up his offensive line. That's next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
News, opinions, and insight, all before breakfast. Rise and shine with Morning Juice.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Come play Skyline's 75th Coney Hunt game. Use your phone to search for virtual conies, tap to collect coins, and redeem them for exclusive Skyline merchandise at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Details at skylinechili.com/Coney Hunt.
As a local family-owned and operated company, Newman Roofing takes great pride in providing great customer experience and quality product to every job they do. From the first phone call to the end of your project, they'll know who you are. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Hi, it's me, Little Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. I know, you don't know me yet, but I'm here to let you know that I'm opening up 2 brand new showrooms in the Columbus area, located in Reynoldsburg and Polaris, bringing even more of my everyday low prices to the people of Ohio. And if you can't wait, mybobs.com is the quickest and easiest way to get unbeatable furniture prices delivered straight to your home today. That's my 2 brand new Bob's Discount Furniture stores coming to Reynoldsburg and Polaris this summer.
Get Bob's Discount!
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. Austin Ward here. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3-putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy, because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy amongst your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken 180 is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist bumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Attention Weekend Warriors. Fan Sports Saturday has moved to 10 a.m. Join Eric Reeser and Tyvis Powell as they dive into popular topics like the Buckeyes and Tyvis's liquid diet.
Saturdays from 10 to 1.
The Fan.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Murphy Tractor and Equipment is your source for John Deere construction equipment rental. We rent high-quality equipment and attachments with add-on options in TopCon precision construction technology. Whether you need 1 week or 6 months, we rent a variety of equipment to help you get the job done. All our rental equipment is fully serviced, fueled, and ready to get to work. Let Murphy Tractor be your first choice for your construction equipment rental needs. Visit us online at murphytractor.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my superhydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on train systems, including 0% APR for 60 months.
A lot going on today. Buckeye Bulletin, Ryan Day, and three of his big players in Indianapolis. Ohio State currently on Bet365, 4-1 to win it all. Georgia just a tick up from that at 3-1. And then it kind of falls not off a cliff because we know these teams are worthy, but Georgia 3-1, Ohio State 4-1, and then Texas 8-1, Oregon 8-1. They'll have that matchup early. Depending on what happens in that game, those odds will slide. And then it drops to Bama at 12-1, LSU to 14-1. The next Big Ten team is whom, Maddie? Outside of Ohio State, Oregon.
Probably Penn State.
Penn State is 22-1, and then they have Michigan at 25-1.
I'll tell you what my sneaky, and this is outside of Buckeye stuff, but one of my favorite Heisman winners right now, according to the odds, is Jalen Milroe. He's tied with Will Howard at 12-1, but I like Jalen Milroe. All those SEC schedules are going to be tough. They got a bunch of big-time games just because of how that conference looks. But I think with DeBoer going down there, with how explosive the passing game could be downfield, but also with his rushing ability, I'm in on Jalen Milroe at 12-1. Early Heisman bet right there. But, yeah, Will Howard's at 12-1 as well, so he's in the top 4. According to Bet365, for your favorites to bring home the coveted trophy.
So you're going to have some early matchups that will matter, and that will be Will Howard, if he is the guy, versus Dylan Gabriel out in Oregon.
Yeah.
If Gabriel has a good game against Ohio State, and dare I say it beats him, then he moves.
Yeah.
Then he slides right up there with Carson Beck probably. But I understand where you're going with that. We'll see if a guy like Jackson Dart, who I like, Ole Miss, let's see how many stats he can compile and how good they are, because he could be really good on a very good team.
No question. And, you know, the SEC is going to be booming. Watch out for Tennessee's guy. This is the new Tua Tagovailoa that we all got to learn. I believe it's Nico Iamaleava. I'm going to take an early crack at that, but we got to learn that one. Yeah. He's supposed to be an explosive guy. You mentioned Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard. Over at Bet365, Dylan Gabriel is the favorite right now.
Oh, is he over
to win
Beck?
the Heisman? Yeah. He's at plus 750. Beck is at plus 800.
Well, against the Buckeye defense, it's going to go one way or the other. He's either going to play well against him, and the eyes of the nation will be, my goodness, he just beat Ohio State. Or it'll go the other way, and okay, early favorite gets grounded a little bit. All right, we get back to Ryan Day, and he was at the press conference in Indianapolis. It wasn't a long one. It was 15 minutes of Q&A, at least up on the podium. And he did talk about the pressure being extra high, maybe even more than normal.
Now, our guys, they know what the expectation is. You've heard some of them say, what their goals are. We're not going to shy away from that. We want to win the rivalry game, be right in this stadium right here, win this Big Ten championship, win a national championship. We know that. But at the same time, that can't be our focus, because that's a distraction from where we are right now. And so where this season goes and what this team looks like is going to look a lot different than it did last year. And this is a new journey. We've got to rebuild that to get to where we need to be.
There's that rebuild word again, and laying a different foundation, that it can't be just a straight continuation and hoping things are perfect. He's trying to build in a vacuum, again, like a singular Ohio State entity with, yes, a dash of the rivalry, a dash of vengeance, a dash of the goals are the same. We're talking about a guy that's lost 3 Big Ten games in 3 years, and you know who those 3 are too.
No question, man. When you hear that term rebuild, I think it's a term that can be thrown around a lot in college football just because of the movement that we see, right? Year in and year out, and just how the rosters seem to be shifting a ton around all these different programs with guys coming in, guys going out. They got to learn a new culture. You got to get to know them. So the rebuilding process, while yes, you're always going to have a core to a certain degree, you're going to have new faces. So those guys got to learn on the fly here. But I think it's good to reset, not consume yourself too much with what happened in the past, because what they have in front of them is potentially a heck of a year and historic one.
Ryan Day was on Get Up this morning on ESPN, and of course he was asked about what I just mentioned, that string of losses to Michigan.
It doesn't change year in and year out. I mean, that's something that we all know, and we certainly don't take very lightly. I mean, it's something we live day in and day out, and I think probably one of the biggest struggles that we have is that when you lose a game like that, you have to wait a whole nother year to get back into that game. And for our guys who decided to come back, we had about 12 guys that made the decision to come back. That was one of the big reasons why they decided to come back. But what we have to do is build every day and grow every day and count on the work that we're doing on a daily basis that's going to matter as we get to the end of the season. And, what we can't do is get too far ahead of ourselves and start to focus too much on that and get distracted. That's just the bottom line. But when you come to Ohio State, you got to win that game.
100%. And, he talked earlier just about the offensive line and how that needs to develop. That Michigan game, if they're going into that game, talking to Ohio State with the O-line being a bit of a weakness, we know they got dudes up there in Ann Arbor still on that D-line with Graham and Grant and those guys. So you just want to make sure that by that point, and it's a long ways away, that you're going in there with a good line of scrimmage that you can throw at them, because that's going to be where the game is won.
Would they win 17 of 19 or whatever? And then to have these 3, it's the rivalry got turned on its head for many different reasons. And the Chip Kellys are all in the middle now. Everything is going there for Ohio State for this season. All right, we come back and we'll have a SportsCenter update here at top of the hour. We'll get into our deep dive and we'll kind of rank our training camp questions in the NFL. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof, but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444 Roof.
Hi, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Need a perfect gift? Check out the new line of Glock watches and other stunning jewelry at Worthington Jewelers. Make every occasion sparkle with Worthington Jewelers, where exceptional gifts await.
We know your golf game is ugly, but your course doesn't have to be. Experience the natural beauty of Delaware Golf Club today. Delaware Golf Club is now open to the public and only 10 miles up the road from 270. For the best rates, book your tee time online at DelawareGolfClub.com.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea, because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Today, the Blue Jackets introduced their next head coach to the city, Dean Evason. And just a few minutes ago, he hopped on the phone, joined Rothman and Ice. We've seen this with new Buckeye Hoops coach Jake Diebler about coaching with passion and excitement for his guys. Dean says he brings that too.
I don't think it's necessarily the right way to go is just to be, stoic back there and just standing and your hands in your pockets and you score a goal. I'm as excited about scoring a goal as the players are.
Ryan Day had his time at Big Ten Media Days in Indy this afternoon on the field at Lucas Oil, which is where the Buckeyes need to get back to in December, the Big Ten championship game. Then since the pandemic year in 2020, that was the Trey Sermon game. Baseball, Guards are trying to get out of the 3-game slide. Game 2 against the Tigers at 6:40. Reds at the Braves at 7:20 tonight, trying for a second straight win. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, Power Pack Show, third hour. We'll have the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, jumping in here on Media Day at 2:33. Get his feel on perhaps the vibe he gets this season on calling potentially a championship season again. We have our Hall of Fame tickets.
It's time
for the Hall of Fame game a week from Thursday. Bears-Texans, Maddie, to give out?
Yes, sir, because the game will take place at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton. If you don't get tickets right now, don't worry. Tickets are available at profootballhof.com/tickets. 614-821-9710 is our hotline number. I believe you have the question for the wonderful listeners that we have.
Yes, the question for you and the number 821-9710. I mentioned that the brand new Jackets coach, Dean Evason, for me is a spitting image of what TV character?
Ooh.
Look at the blank look that he has on his face in there. So this is what I think happened. When I said this, I think you were having a conversation in there with somebody to start the show. Somebody was bugging you. I can't remember what was going on. Is that the case?
I mean, it could be. I just...
Do you know the answers?
Possible.
Do you know the answer, sir?
I don't know the answer,
That's
but
awesome.
you're going to whisper it in my ear here in a second.
You're darn right he is. You're darn right he is. So why don't you go ahead and hop off the mic there and let our boy
leave
know.
the studio?
No. Just, make it happen. You know how you can make that happen.
I mean, I could run into the other room real fast, and you could fill for about 8 seconds.
You trying to get your cardio in? Is that what you're trying to get your steps in?
Or you could just turn your mic off and then hit the talk-back button.
I'm not doing that for the listeners, turning my mic off. All right.
Well, while you do that, again, I want to let you know, folks, that the game's going to take place at Tom Benson Stadium. Tom Benson, let me get that right. Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. And tickets
This isn't
are
working. I'm going in the next room.
Technology is just not working. The aliens took over. I don't know what the heck's happening, folks, but I'm going to tell you this right now. Tickets are available at profootballhalloffame.com/tickets. It's an amazing experience up there. And if you're one of their lucky listeners that's going to get this question right, that I think the two of these guys have finally figured out, we're going to get you right. But if you don't get them now,
the cans together, Maddie, with a string, and
hop on the website.
Now, listen, I shouldn't have had to do that, and you know why. I mean, he was not. I mean, right out of the gate,
listen, as a
got to
man,
be on it.
As a man that used to host his own radio show, and you and Bobby were doing your radio show, I can't knock him because I used to do the same thing.
He was doing his own radio show in there. All right, so hopefully somebody will get that answer. All right, so we talked about, we've talked about training camp a lot last couple of days. So what is the biggest storyline in the NFL this year? Well, to me, it's obvious.
Oh, I'm interested in this.
I mean, it's obvious and not that it's compelling, but it's obvious that it's obvious. We have never had a three-peat. We've never had a Super Bowl three-peat. How could it not be? And I know it's bad because we don't want to do Kansas City Chiefs again. People are having some fatigue. But the Chiefs are beginning a three-peat quest that is legit. This isn't like that somehow they got decimated and they've won two and they're not the same team. They're shooting for what's never been done.
The scariest part of what they did last year was obviously Tyreek's been gone for a while now. And these dudes went back to back. But last year, everybody let him off the hook. What did Coach Green say? What's the clip when he was the Cardinals head coach when he was yelling at the podium? We had him and we let him off the hook. Something like that.
Yeah, no, that's right.
The league let the Chiefs off the hook because that was one of the worst offensive seasons that they had with Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and Mahomes leading the charge. And they still won the freaking Lombardi Trophy. So now it's a little bit of wait and see mode, right? I know everybody's super excited about Xavier Worthy, and the highlight came out this weekend, and Mahomes rolling out and throwing a deep bomb to him. But there was also excitement a couple years ago about Sky Moore, a young guy. He's a young guy. So I'm not going to get too crazy about him, but I do think he has a chance to be impactful, especially when you think about what Andy Reid has done with speedsters in his past with Tyreek Hill and Deshaun Jackson in Philly. But I just, I've always been saying, I didn't think their defense got enough credit for what they did a year ago. And that combination of what I believe is going to be another top 5 to 10 defense with an offense that's going to be a lot better, they're going to be an absolute problem. They're the gatekeepers. They're the Death Star. They're the Night Kings, coming north of the wall. They're all of that. And until you knock them off the throne, they're still going to be there.
They seem like a team that can handle anything. And this offseason after their back-to-back has not been awesome. It hasn't been. Now they get to camp. They had Rashee Rice involved in that, massive crash, faces charges for his role in it. You had right or wrong, and it's really, he's allowed to say what he wants to say. Harrison Butker got, there's a lot of bark back on what he was saying publicly, and certainly he's entitled to his opinion, but the Chiefs now get to focus on the on-field stuff. Are they the team that can get away with having some, they released a defensive lineman who was arrested on domestic violence charges, and so they just have some off-season noise this year. Now, maybe they're the ones that can handle it, and they probably can. With Mahomes, all things are possible. I think that's probably the biggest storyline going. The other storyline that's probably hit here very soon is which quarterback's going to be next to get the bag? Because it sounds like Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, one of those may become, dare I say it, the highest paid quarterback ever.
It feels like Jordan Love's going to be first. It feels that way to me. It doesn't feel like Tua and Miami are necessarily on the same exact page at the moment. And everything that Dallas is showing us with their actions right now and throughout the offseason is we'll figure it out at the end of the year.
What's a bigger story? I think actually the rookie quarterbacks this year might even be a bigger story than one of these guys getting the money. The money just seems like almost so commonplace now. Now, living up to that money, that's a different story. Like if Jordan Love gets that kind of $50+ million and all of a sudden he's a one-hit wonder, which I don't think he is.
Then good for him.
Then good for him, I guess.
Good for him.
But I actually think the bigger story is the Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels battle there. I guess you got others too. You got JJ and you got Bo Nix. You got other quarterbacks, but
it feels like 3 of the 5 are no doubt starting in my mind. Jaden, Caleb, and Bo. The other 2, and I know we'll hear from your head coach and pre-snap reads, but between JJ and Drake May, feels like those guys may have to wait a little bit of time. But I think, when you look at Jaden and Caleb, those guys come into the league and the Bears' weaponry, I think, is more well-rounded, even though I think Washington's they're no slouches either over there. Terry McLaurin.
Don't sell them short. They're a tremendous slouch.
Terry McLaurin has done some good things with some bad quarterback play, and we saw what happened down in Houston when you get a dude that can come in and then shine, a nice, fresh, coat of paint on that unit there. That unit could take off a lot quicker. And that, to me, is one of the interesting storylines around training camp that I can't wait to hear about, AR, is what does this weaponry look like in Houston? How is it stacking up? Where is CJ comfortable going throughout these practices? And I don't know if they're doing joint practices. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But just to hear about some of the offensive nuggets that are going to come out of Houston's training camp. Because when you have that talent on paper, it's a great thing. But I think it's kind of like what Team USA is going through right now in basketball. Sometimes when you have a bunch of dudes that are used to being the dude, it takes a little time to figure out. And so now in Houston, you had Nico Collins absolutely pop off and look like he could be their number one wide receiver of the future. And Tank Dell was balling before he went down with an injury. And Stephon Diggs has been incredible throughout his career with his production. How does CJ handle that? But more importantly, Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator, distributing the reps in the right way to make sure the team is still the main thing. That's one storyline I can't wait to see unfold throughout training camp.
So I just kind of scribbled a few while you were giving yours there. And so KC three-peat, which rookie quarterback will be the best? I did drop in there who's going to be the highest paid quarterback going into this season. I wanted to say the Rodgers return has to be top 5 just because of who he is and the fact we didn't get to see any of it, and this may be the last run. I did drop in the Jim Harbaugh back in the NFL storyline being probably a top 10 storyline, despite I'm not really sure how good they can be, so it may not matter. I think the Steeler quarterback battle is probably in my top 10 as far as storylines, but I don't know if that's going to matter. The only way it matters is not whether they can, go to the playoffs and win a couple games. It, to me, is do they have a future quarterback? That may be the one that plays out. Will Justin play well enough? Will he get the time to play well enough, and will he do it for Pittsburgh to say, we're good now?
Well, I also think, too, for me, it starts a lot. I think it starts now. Like, do we start to hear when we have our guy Ray Fittipaldo on in the coming weeks that Justin's doing some good things, and you start to see that maybe Justin's eating away at some of the first-team reps that Russ is getting? That's what I'm interested in hearing coming out of Pittsburgh. That's high up on the board for me. Yeah. Another one, too, is does a true playmaker emerge in Buffalo for Josh Allen? And I was starting to think the other day, maybe they're going the other way with their construction of their offense. The connection between Diggs and Allen was great until it wasn't. And I know that they made an offensive coordinator change and they started to go towards more of a heavy rush attack, and that worked out well for them. They turned out to be a pretty good offense with Joe Brady as their offensive coordinator, who was a name we've been hearing for years since he was attached to Joey B and those LSU Tigers back in 2019. But it seems like to me, AR, they're going to try to rip you up the middle of the field with the 2 tight ends that they have, with Kincaid and Dawson Knox. James Cook is no slouch at running back, and we know when you get into the red zone, Josh Allen is one of the best rushing quarterbacks down in that area of the field. But the outside, the wide receiver room, Curtis Samuel and Keon Coleman and some of those guys.
There's a ceiling there.
He's a young guy.
Yeah.
But when you talk about is he ready to really contribute to a team that believes they, can win a Super Bowl, that's what I can't wait to see is Josh Allen's elevation of talent, but do we get a new look Buffalo Bills style of offense going into this year's season?
Yeah, I like that storyline a lot because their weaponry went to the basement of the NFL. Like they're in that if Josh Allen is so good, maybe he can raise them all. But I agree with you. That is a very big fall from being a mighty offense that you feel like you have to really be worried about week in and week out. We'll see. I mean, he's really good. But now even more is on him. The other one that jumped out to me, and I don't know whether this will become a storyline or not, is the Cousins-Penix deal. I think Cousins is good enough to certainly say, hey, we gave a guy $180 million. We're not, one bad interception doesn't mean, hey, Mike, grab your helmet and go in. Right. It's not that. So I don't think that storyline is going to get too far down the track this year unless Cousins gets hurt again, unless that Achilles, something happens, he gets hurt or in another way. Then all of a sudden, that's an intriguing storyline to see if Penix can go in there as a older rookie and make this team that a lot of people feel could challenge, win the division, and maybe get into the tournament and pull an upset. But to me, it would have to be Cousins doing it. So I dropped the Cousins-Penix deal probably even below my Steelers quarterback battle.
Last one for me, because I'm high on this guy, but he's got to be out there. Is Anthony Richardson a dude? Is he a dude? I saw Dan Orlovsky on Pat McAfee today saying he thinks Anthony Richardson and the Colts offense could flip the AFC on its head with the potential that they have there. I love the combination of play caller and talent at quarterback. Shane Steichen was a stud with Jalen Hurts, and we've seen what happened to Jalen Hurts the last couple of years. Been a little murky, still a good player. But I like what they are building in Indy, especially on offense. And that division with the question mark in Tennessee at Will Levis, Trevor Lawrence. You mentioned Jordan Love living up to that contract. He's got to do that and then some, being attached to Joey B as the highest paid quarterback in the league. But Anthony Richardson, his health in the coming weeks, but more importantly, that offense coming together as a young unit. I like what they're cooking over there in Indy, but he's got to be available for them to do what I think they can do this year in the conference.
Listen, he's a high draft pick. He came in prototypical, big kid, and he was dazzling in his first. He was good when he first came in. So now we get to see because he's elite in a lot of areas. All right, we come back with pre-snap reads, and we'll get into the quarterback we touched on, J.J. McCarthy, his coach commenting on his readiness. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. As you know, I am a world-renowned inventor. So you keep telling me. The royalties alone on that little plastic table I invented to put in pizza boxes, more than you can imagine.
And yet you come into the office here at Eco every day when you're supposed to be a silent partner.
Get Eco.
Because, Aaron, I think we should do a better job of telling people all the ways the word eco stands for everything we do.
I'm pretty sure people can figure it out.
Economical, ecological, eco-ountable, eco-accommodating.
Is there a spelling requirement to be an inventor? I mean, I barely graduated, and I can spell those words better.
Get Eco.
When people get eco to help with their plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, they get all that. Innovative, modern, practical solutions from highly trained plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
It's all right there in the name.
It is all right there in the name.
Get Eco.
GetEco.com.
Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180. Between increased flexibility, strength, and endurance, breaking 100, 90, or even 80 could be just 40 pounds away. Get there this summer with the solution for weight loss, Awaken180weightloss.com.
Come play Skyline's 75th Coney Hunt game. Use your phone to search for virtual conies, tap to collect coins, and redeem them for exclusive Skyline merchandise at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Details at skylinechili.com/Coney Hunt.
Common Man here for Choice Cabinet. Contractors, builders, apartment managers, I'm talking to you. You've all been using the same old cabinet vendors for too long. I want to introduce you to Choice Cabinet. They are new to Central Ohio, and they want your business. Family owned and operated by the Laurinaitis. Yes, cousins to that guy. Kitchens, closets, pantries, laundry rooms, mud rooms, 60,000 all-wood cabinets in stock. Call my guys today, 216-378-9313, or go to choicecabinet.com.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
We buy any car.
Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer. And sure, they're interested in a good deal. For them. Not for you. Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. You get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price. So don't take chances with a trade-in. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com for a free online valuation.
Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. For only $2.99 per month, under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics can help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614-656-4000.
At Glow Fiber Business, your business is our priority.
With prepackaged and customized fully fiber optic solutions, Glo Fiber Business delivers the fast, reliable, and scalable fiber internet your business needs to grow, all backed by the superior local customer support you deserve. Glo Fiber is here, and we mean business. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com to switch today.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today we're going to be looking at a few showers with a high around 86. Dry overnight tonight with a low of 67. Foggy on your Wednesday morning. And in fact, visibilities could be under a quarter of a mile. And then the fog burns off by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Looking at a partly cloudy day with a few showers and thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Leads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right. First of all, Bake, who knew the answer to the question that I believe that Dean Evason, brand new Jackets coach, is really Creed from The Office, and that we've never seen the two of them in the same place, and they might be the same guy.
And that would be our friend Mike from POW. He knew that.
Mike,
First caller
well
today.
Here we go. I thought it was my mom. She texted me and said Creed. She said they love watching The Office up there. Okay,
then she knew. She knew the answer. Are family, are relatives of hosts allowed to win?
Probably not.
But if they're listening legit and you're not feeding them the answer.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right.
I guess they could win it.
And we'd like to try to keep the integrity a little above board here. So employees, family members of employees, probably not. Bet365 time.
Because at Bet365, ladies and gentlemen, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Got my Redlegs in Hotlanta where the players play. Brought home a nice win yesterday. Hunter Green has been balling.
Mm-hmm.
He's been good this year. I'm looking at Candelario tonight for an anytime RBI at plus 210. Haven't loved the signing. Big knows that, but he's had some moments. So give me Candelario plus 210 over 0.5 ribbies. You got anything tonight you like?
My boy Skeens is going tonight against the Cards.
The Skeen on, baby.
I always like to bet him. But, I took a little leap on Scooball last night. I think he only had 6 strikeouts against the Guards. So I may go with walks instead of Ks. How about less than 1.5 walks for Skeens?
What is the K number today?
1.5.
No, what are his Ks? Where's that?
Oh, Ks are 7.5.
Kind of like that. But I
you
understand.
Like over 7.5?
Yeah, I do. But I understand what happened last night with Scooball. But the Guardians are tough to get. By the way, Guardians offense recently,
buddy,
it's getting a little nasty.
Seen this coming.
It's getting a little nasty.
Yeah.
But you're rolling with the walks.
Yes.
Okay.
Rolling with the walks under 1.5.
There we go. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app. Today, 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
He's fist pumping in there.
So proud.
We didn't even talk about it yesterday.
I missed it yesterday. I had to get it today.
Oh, good, big dog.
Maddie had the right angle on the Denny Green. Did you find that from about, 20 years ago?
We do have it.
Can I hear it?
The
I need
Bears
to.
are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown them. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
You tell them.
That was the speech
Boy.
I was repeating after the AFC Championship game right there. I feel his pain.
The fact that, by the way, the Bears were really good that year. They went to the Super Bowl. That was 2006. That was a game early on at the brand new University of Phoenix Stadium. That's how long it's been there. And the two quarterbacks I believe in that game, don't quote me, were Rex Grossman and Matt Leinart. Wow. And Leinart had him. And was he a rookie that year? I think he was. I'll have to go back. And they did have him. And it came down to a kick and didn't make it.
They missed it.
And that was, God rest his soul, Denny Green. With one of the great viral pressers ever.
It'll live on forever and
it's
ever
so right.
and ever.
Now, he was wrong in that the Bears weren't less than people thought. Because where he went, hey, they are who we thought they were, meaning they're beatable, they're gettable, and we let them off the hook. And then he added that if you want to go crown them, then crown them. They almost did get crowned. They made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, great quote. All right, let's see if J.J. McCarthy is ready. We have debated this, you and I. I don't care if he starts week 1 or I don't think they need to throw him to the fire. I know you're kind of like, hey, let him learn on the job, a little on-the-job training. And the Vikings coach, Kevin O'Connell, did break down, I believe, the QB battle between McCarthy and Darnold. Is that correct, Bake?
That is correct.
Let's hear him.
Yeah, I have no, preconceived, preset depth chart in my mind beyond. I believe I said, at the end of spring, Sam was, the number one quarterback. He had taken a lot of the reps and most of the reps with the ones. Sam had a great spring. JJ came in here after being drafted and had a really productive spring as well. So really my message to those guys is I want a really competitive situation. Sam will, obviously be taking the majority of his reps with that first group, but I think you'll see JJ maybe get some as well, but also it's about the quality and as much as the volume of those reps throughout camp to really kind of continue to holistically attack this quarterback development program and process for JJ, while also knowing that doesn't mean the expectation is that Sam doesn't have a process either. We've got individualized plans for all of our guys, and where that depth chart falls, for our first game, we get a whole lot of time on the grass and 3 preseason opportunities to really work through exactly where each individual guy is at this point in time.
Darnold's a placeholder. He's a placeholder. I got no real problems with that.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I'm not a huge fan of this. I think, and especially the reason why I'm not is because this isn't like Drake May going into New England where there aren't dudes there. Like, JJ's coming to a situation where the man we just heard from, I think, is a really good play caller. We saw that from him when Kirk Cousins went down, and the offense still was very respectable. But you're also like, hey, man, I got Justin Jefferson and Addison and Hawkins and Aaron Jones. He doesn't have to be everything. And I think because of the last name I mentioned in Aaron Jones, that can provide good balance for him. And I think for JJ to learn, especially with what that offense looked like last year, and it looks like Kevin O'Connell wants to be an aggressive play caller, pushing the ball downfield, he's got to be able to figure that out by doing it. And so it may just have to come back to my one rule, AR, that I always say, and it's follow the money. And I think ownership, they're not going to be on board with Kevin O'Connell letting Sam Darnold just sit there on the sideline when they invested $10 million in him for 1 year. So it's probably going to be Sam early on. I'm just curious how long that's going to be. But I'm never really a huge fan of rookies having to wait a bunch of time, and especially when the situation looks like what it looks like around JJ. This isn't like Bryce Young last year. We knew he was going to struggle right out of the gate. I think JJ has a chance to have good success pretty early on.
Real quickly, they were trying to get up to 3 to get Drake May, right? Can we agree on that?
Well, the whole Josh McCown tie, remember, he coached him in high school. That was one of the big breadcrumbs to follow. So, I wouldn't be surprised if that was what they wanted.
They weren't going to take Penix, and then ironically he goes off before they moved up a hair to get McCarthy. I don't think they were going to 3 to get McCarthy. I don't. And when they tried to get New England to come off that pick, it was to get Drake May. And then they knew who was going to be off the board by the time they picked anyway. And so you're right. I mean, he just signed his deal, 4 years, $22 million. He's got time to learn the system. Doesn't have to be inserted in the lineup until maybe the midseason at earliest, and that's how they'll play it. All right, those are your pre-snappers for today. We come back and we talk Buckeyes with the voice of Ohio State, our friend Paul Keels. Listening next, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me: pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is your exclusive in-person advance sale ticket outlet for the 2024 Ohio State Fair. Discount admission tickets are $8 at participating stores. Enjoy food, entertainment, animals, rides, and so much more at the Ohio State Fair, July 24th through August 4th. Get advance sale tickets now through Tuesday, July 23rd. Only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Underneath our red awning at Sheets, we make the magic happen. So when you visit our new location in Columbus, go ahead and get a little crazy, like adding mott sticks as a burger topping, or putting espresso in your milkshake, or picking up $65 worth of fried food curbside at 2 a.m. 24/7, 365. Sheets, located at 4881 Roberts Road in Columbus, is ready to serve you what you're really craving. Why the Sheets not make a convenience store your new favorite hangout spot?
Sunday is the time for brunching with your favorite people. And when they don't invite you, listen to us instead. Fan Sports Sunday with Tito and DeVere Posey.
Sunday morning starting at 11.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for my crew at Valley Ford of Columbus. If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle without breaking the bank, well, you need to get to Valley Ford for a great selection of certified pre-owned Ford Blue Advantage cars, trucks, and SUVs. Each one of these vehicles features a minimum 139-point inspection, and they're also backed by a 14-day or 1,000-mile money-back guarantee. Get the better deal and a better pre-owned Ford without any worries. Keep on trucking at Valley Ford of Columbus.
Vehicle must be returned within 14 days, 1,000 miles, whichever comes first from the original sales date and mileage is stated on bill of sale, and return in same condition as sold. Other restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
With surgery and drugs being the main options to treat chronic joint pain, that left orthopedic surgeons like Dr. Ray Tessner thinking,
geez, wouldn't it be nice if we can have another form of treatment that eliminates some of the downside and has a bigger upside as we learn more about it?
And then he found it. Regenerative medicine, an exciting, fast-growing approach to dealing with pain using healing agents from your own body.
Well, it's using the miracle benefits of the human body to help encourage healing.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving patients lasting relief from joint pain in their knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Finally, options other than surgery and steroids. All natural regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. Learn more. Call today for your free consultation.
Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444-ROOF.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Helping you ace your afternoon. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, when you've got a championship potential season on the horizon, you go after the big ones, and we've got a guy that has been calling games beautifully for a long time here in Columbus, Ohio. And
translation old.
He's our friend Paul Keels. Might be in that same pot with you, my man. It's great to see you.
Likewise, fellas.
This season will be what number for you at the mic?
27.
Congrats. It's a great run.
Thank you.
I mean, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. It's hard to believe. It's the first year was 1998 when they were preseason number 1. Okay, so that led us to that dark Saturday against Michigan State. Yeah. Things come full circle. Here we are with this team that even Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel can't help themselves from weighing in and saying this could be the greatest talent on paper that's been assembled either here at Ohio State or anywhere. So that lopped on another layer of pressure. But give me your take. I mean, everyone feels the expectations are warranted, that the hype is real, and they've embraced it and they're leaning into it. Well, a lot of it has to do, Anthony and Matt, as you guys know, with those players who opted to come back that could have gone professional. That really kind of sent a cry out. And then also adding the people they've added in the transfer portal, which is a whole nother element now that we've had to get our arms around. You look at a schedule that maybe favorable isn't the right word, but it's a schedule that certainly is more advantageous than maybe other years. You know, your challenges are at Penn State, at Oregon, and then that one at the end of the year at home. So there's, and also too, and this can't be discounted. And I know you guys have talked about it a lot. There's some unfinished business for this team, and especially these guys like Jack Sawyer and Jalen Tuimoloau, who've been here, Emeka Ibuka, who've lost that rivalry game 3 years in a row. So, you know, that's also part of what leads to these expectations. You mentioned the rivalry game. From your perspective, the last 3 years, what are your thoughts on why that hasn't gone Ohio State's way? Anything really jumping out to you up there in the booth? You know what you saw Michigan do that they had not done those years that Ohio State was having their way with them? Michigan became more physical on the lines. I mean, that offensive line the last 2 years speaks for itself for what they were able to do and allowed them to run the ball the way they did. You know, J.J. McCarthy probably doesn't get the credit he deserves for the things that he brought to the Wolverines. But you know, when Ohio State was dominating that series, the line play was more physical in favor of the Buckeyes, and that's where Michigan adapted. And that's now, as you heard Ryan Day talk about today, the emphasis on being a physical training camp to be as physical as they can be during the season. Yeah, I agree with both you guys. Listen, they lost in 21, I think, because they were out physicaled. And then 22, I felt like they were just lost defensively. And now in 23, and we know everything that was in that pot and stirred up with the rival. But it comes back to, like you said, they won, Paul, in the areas that nobody loves to talk about. The rushing battle, the turnover battle, the kicking game, the punting game. Like, they won every non-sexy category that wins those types of games. And Anthony, the turnovers were big last year, especially, you know, the one early and the one late. Not that any of them aren't damaging, but, you know, still to have had a chance to come back and win that game last year, that late interception just really kind of took care of it. But, you know, those are the things that are going to sit there over the Woody Hayes complex and have continued to burn within the coaches and the players that came back, that they know to get where they want to be, they've got to be more physical than everybody they play, especially against Michigan. What are your thoughts on some of the tweaks Coach Day has made as far as maybe zooming out and going to a little bit more of a CEO type of role, if you will, with Chip Kelly coming in? What are your thoughts on the transition he's made a little bit here at head coach? Well, Matt, I think we know that if it was ever going to happen, it was only going to be with a guy like Chip Kelly. But will it really happen? And there's a lot of things that indicate it is, but we still know Ryan Day's fingerprints are going to be all over that football team. But, you know, all of the talk, really, and a lot of the talk we heard in the spring about Chip Kelly wanting to do what needs to be done to get the running game where it needs to go. Everybody's familiar with what they did at Oregon and even in the NFL, some of its efforts with throwing the ball downfield, but getting this running game to go and getting the quarterback to present a running threat. That's the thing that this team missed last year and really didn't have in C.J. Stroud's last year up until the Georgia game. So it'll be interesting to see. There certainly is a comfort factor with Ryan Day and Chip Kelly to allow him to, I don't know if step away from it is the right word, but give somebody a little more latitude than maybe he would have somebody else. Fortunate to be visiting with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here on Rothman and Ice. Usually in years past, and you and I go way back as far as guys getting seasoned in the rivalry, right? Maybe you lose to him, you get a shot against him. He may be dropping in a quarterback in Will Howard that's never played in the game. McCord would have had another chance to do that and take that experience and bring it back home. He didn't. That didn't happen. That could be an advantage. It could be a disadvantage. I don't know, because, you know, he's coming in to rescue a 3-game losing streak. If it is Will Howard, we don't know, but we assume it is. Your take on that, having a new quarterback, if it is Will Howard, a guy that's not played in that game before, advantage, disadvantage, a wash? I think it's a wash because, Anthony, we've heard other players that have come from outside of the state of Ohio and other coaches too. They learn right away
what it is to be part of that rivalry. They learn when they get over in that building, not to say the word Michigan, the whole team up north thing. They learn from their teammates. They see the counters in there, and we get to see them. We go over there for the radio show. How many days until that game? So that's something that they could be from Hoboken, New Jersey. They could be from Pumpkin Falls, Iowa. They could be from, some remote island in Samoa. They learn from the people they're around in that building, the importance of that rivalry.
Paul, there's so many people that admire and respect what you do. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like to hear your process getting ready for a game. And we get to see it throughout the week, a little bit of how you get ready. But for the folks that don't have the job that we have, walk our listeners through how Paul Keels gets ready to call games on Saturdays.
Well, we're fortunate, first off, Matty, and you guys know, the folks at Ohio State and the athletics communications, they provide us with so much helpful information. One of the first things you have to do is get straight on the number changes. Players have changed numbers. I think Denzel Burke's on his third number since he's played at Ohio State. That leads to a story. We had all the Big Ten radio guys into golf earlier this summer, and we were at one of the Roosters places afterwards, one of our fine clients, and there was a picture of a quarterback wearing number 12, and they say, Paul, who is that? Couldn't figure out who it was right away. Well, it was Justin Zwick, but remember, Justin had 3 different numbers when he played. So, number changes, getting familiar with that. The opponent, and a majority of the time week to week is getting boned up on the opponent. If they've played someplace on TV or it's on the internet the week before, spending a lot of time watching their previous game, get familiar with their personnel, names and numbers. Minimum at least 2 times during the week, watching the full game, if able to get it, of the upcoming opponent. Adding more stats, more bio notes and everything. You guys see that giant cheat sheet we put together. It's with all different color ink and all of that. Matt, really the best way to describe it to people is it's like preparing for a test for school, but you get to take your notes. Reading as many articles and things online that you can, not only about Ohio State, but the opponent. So, and just familiarizing yourself with what players have done in the past, especially if it's a team that they've played against previously.
Probably don't have to explain cheat sheets to the two of us. So we're all about.
That's what's sitting over there on the other side of the table.
How do you think we got here? So, as a play-by-play announcer, certainly highlights are great, and you've got some epic calls. The drama of a fourth quarter game, though, a game in doubt, is that what you dream of, or is it more of, I know how it unfolds is how it unfolds, but when you're in those games that are in doubt, fourth quarter, can you even sense yourself kind of amping up the adrenaline?
A little, Anthony, but really what you're focusing on is making sure that you're still doing all the basics, down and distance, time and score. Making sure you're familiar with who's on the field or with basketball on the court. If there's an extra receiver, who is that? If there's an extra defensive back, who is that? You watch the game and people ask, how are you able to do those games without throwing stuff at the field or like you would watching it at home on TV? Well, it's different because you're focused on those kind of things. It's work. Yes, you're invested in the excitement and wanting to see it go well for Ohio State, but you're focused more on wanting to make sure that you describe everything that's going on as best as you possibly can.
Harder, easier, the same to win a title if you're Ohio State in this new expanded era?
Yeah, you were asking about that earlier. Easier in some ways to get in the running for it, meaning with 12 teams that can get in. You're not going to have an undefeated team now in a major conference that's not going to get in. I don't think. No, I don't think. So easier to get into it. It could be harder. You could look at it could be harder because you've got to win more games. It could be harder because more games could potentially mean more of a chance for injury for somebody. So I think it's different is maybe the best way to answer it because this is an animal that we've not seen before.
No question. Last one for me real quick. Have you called a game at Eugene yet? You know that game everybody's really excited about. They haven't been out there yet.
We're supposed to go there in 20 for the pandemic, but that was one of the games you got. But no, have not been to Eugene. So that'll, don't look forward to the lengthy trip, but curious to see a setting that we've never seen.
How about that? By the way, real fast, I mentioned to these guys, if you're Oregon this year, if you look at the last half of their schedule, after they play Ohio State, it's go to West Lafayette, back to Eugene, go to Ann Arbor, back to Eugene, go to Madison, back to Eugene. That's their schedule.
That's the part for those Western teams that you had to really wonder when they started thinking about coming into this conference. The travel was going to be harder for them than it was going to be for the schools in the Midwest. I mean, imagine how the USC Trojans are going to feel when they see Piscataway, New Jersey. When UCLA sees West Lafayette, Indiana, I mean, and not just, and I don't mean that as a disrespect to those places, but it's so different from any place they've ever gone. And having to go multiple weeks all the way across the country, that had to be a challenge that you would at least hope that the athletic directors and the presidents talk to the coaches about at all sports. Say, hey, this is something that could be a hurdle.
No, we work side by side, and we get to talk weekly during the season, but this is a treat for us. We should do it more often during the season. Thank you.
You're that desperate for guests, right?
Yeah.
Not kidding.
Well, Fish said you're a bargain at any price.
Well,
so
there's that,
just
too.
name your number.
All right.
Thanks, Paul.
My pleasure, guys.
That's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, looking forward to calling a championship season for the Ohio State. We come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Chops his serial killer eyes, and Reeser can grow a full beard before lunch. What can your friends do? Bishop and Friends.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows Direct is the best. Why? Number one, they have the best technology. They have window systems that last up to 5 times longer than the other jabronis. Plus, they back it up with a true lifetime warranty for as long as you own your home and a 20-year warranty to the next homeowner. And how about the deals? 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years. Restrictions apply because they always do. Call them today, 614-502-5220. Schedule your free in-home estimate. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to uwd.com.
Boss on your back? Break away from the office and head on over to Delaware Golf Club. Grab a group, play 18, and afterwards unwind with a drink by the Fire Pit Bar and Patio. Online booking makes it easy to secure your tee time. So come check out Central Ohio's home for premier golf at Delaware Golf Club.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. Austin Ward here. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy amongst your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken 180 is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist bumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
The summer sell-down is on at Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Save thousands with bonus cash on select inventory. Plus, get another $2,500 off any new Chrysler Jeep Dodge or Ram with your trade. One Performance, 2 locations, Georgesville and Delaware.
Trade value based on KBB, be comparable, 2010 model or newer, and price of $5K.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Now, the turkey is also majestic looking. It's a little silly.
Get out of here. It's stupid.
it's majestic. Have you seen them when they're all
dumb.
puffed up?
I don't like them.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet Store. 3 words for me, pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet Store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet Store, America's arch supports experts.
Okay, so that's the final price. Oh, an extra fee to drive here. Is that it? A knock on the door fee. So is that the final price? A 15% Wednesday surcharge. What for? Oh, because it's Wednesday. Of course. Can I get back to you on this?
Apex Pros, the pros who knows.
This quote you gave me, are there any other charges I don't know about?
Other charges?
Like an it's too sunny fee or my dog wet the carpet tax?
No, Apex always gives you upfront pricing.
No surprise fees?
Never.
No charge if your stomach hurts or you lost your library card?
Upfront pricing every time at Apex Pros, whether it's plumbing, heating, and AC, or our new electrical services.
I'll call you right back. Hello, other company? Hi, me again.
It's Alex, the friendly Apex Bear. You'll never get a surprise charge with the Apex Pros upfront price guarantee. Schedule an appointment now at apexpros.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft beer.
All right, Bake, take us home, buddy.
All right, guys. So today is National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. What is your favorite treat with vanilla ice cream?
Wow. Like a topping? With the top on?
Maybe it's a piece of pumpkin pie or apple pie with vanilla ice cream, or...
You didn't mention sweet potato pie.
A warm piece of pie with a ball of vanilla ice cream.
I ain't mad at that either, AR, but I think if I had to pick one, I'm going with a warm, moist, as my grandma would say. God rest her soul. No tea. Moist at the end of that thing. Just give me a fudge brownie, AR. Give me a fudge brownie, and I got to have the Hershey drizzle on top, and I may blend a little bit of that caramel drizzle on top as well. So give me brownie, hot fudge, and a little bit of that caramel on top.
So there are a million choices. Those are all very good. Mine, I'll go back in time. Have you guys ever heard of an Elmer's sundae?
An Elmer's sundae.
So it's basically, it's like milk chocolate hard shell on the ice cream.
Oh, I think I've seen
So you've
these.
gone to like Dairy Queen to get like a hard, that.
Absolutely.
So there was a sundae at a place where I grew up in Chicago, and they called it the Gold Brick Sundae.
Okay.
And so it's that Elmer's Gold Brick chocolate that you pour onto the ice cream that hardens into that shell. But it's more of like a milk chocolate, not like a dark chocolate.
I got you.
And I got to tell you, I need to find some. I don't know where I could get it.
Somebody will hit you up.
I don't even know if that company still exists, but
it's coming on the YouTube chat right now. I know it. Somebody's going to give you the answer.
Elmer, yeah, we used to call it the Elmer's Sundae, and I didn't know why as a kid, but then I realized later on it was the name of the shell.
Why would you lie? All right, guys, we missed Tell the Truth yesterday because of the breaking Dean Evason news. Yesterday was National Panucci Fudge Day. It's a maple-flavored, nut-filled fudge that is made with brown sugar instead of white. Tell the truth, had you even heard of this before?
I haven't, but I'm in. This sounds incredible.
It's all in.
Anything maple-flavored bake works for me. I actually think the maple glazed donut might be the most underrated donut.
Okay.
In the game. I've never heard of this, AR.
A fudge nut roll? Is that what it is?
That is not what it is.
Oh.
It's Panucci.
Well, no, that's the name, but essentially that's what it is. I'm trying to dumb it down for myself.
I mean, if that's what you want.
Well, if you had to describe it to someone without using that name, someone that just came to this planet, give me the resources again here.
It is a maple flavored.
Maple flavored.
So it's like a brownish color. It's nut filled, so there's nuts inside it.
That's right.
And it is made with
Nuts.
brown sugar, whereas all other fudges are made with regular
But it's like
white
a roll?
sugar. It's just a piece of fudge.
Oh, it's a piece of fudge. Oh, okay.
He wants it to be a roll.
I just
so
wanted
bad.
to know whether it was going to be like some sort of a ho-ho or some kind of a... Right. That sounds good, because why would I turn any of that down? But to answer your original question, no, I've not heard of that.
Just find out right now today is true.
Guys, last season, Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard were the first and second team quarterbacks in the Big 12. They will be that this year in the Big 10.
I don't have a reason to push back on this. Who could shake the room a little bit, I guess, is Drew Aller. He would be the guy that I think would be third in line to do this.
No Miller Moss?
Statistically, he may be all right, because we know Lincoln Riley's going to roll out a trash defense, and he's going to have to be out on the field a lot. But I think the safe bet is rolling with the quarterbacks that are probably going to be the best two teams in the conference. So I'm in on that.
Yeah, Maddie probably did the pecking order correctly. Depending on who wins that game, if they both look good, somebody's got to win it. So Gabriel and Will Howard might be 1-2. Moss, I like your pick there. I'd probably put Aller over him. And then I threw in the other day Dylan Raiola and see what he does, but not sure what kind of team they're going to have. But he could pull an upset. Like, he's got a knockout punch for somebody. He's got a puncher's chance to win a big game. But, and then I told you about looking out for my boy in Minnesota, Max Brosmer.
Just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
All right, guys, today's fan poll over at 971thefan.com. After Ohio State and Oregon, who is likely to be the third best team in the Big Ten this season? Your choices are Penn State, Michigan, Iowa, or other.
I got Michigan. Their floor's safe because of how good I think their defense will remain. I don't trust Penn State right now.
Yeah, I trust Aller more, but not a ton more. We're splitting hairs because you're right. They'll both probably rely on their defense to keep them in games. They don't play each other this year.
Yeah.
So that's weird. I'll
tell you this.
Give me Penn State in a tiebreaker.
You could talk me into Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're not being talked about enough. They brought up the kid from Miami and Tyler Van Dyke. He's a seasoned quarterback. Something about Wisconsin. Fick, I think, has got something cooking in the kitchen. I like the smell of it right now.
So I mentioned them last week when you were gone. That's interesting, when Biddle was in. And the fact that they certainly have a chance to pull an upset as well. We know what happened with them in year one and all that. I do feel like if Van Dyke is a level up, which it sounds like he is, they got a chance.
And that, my boy, is a damn truth.
All right, we'll do this last one real quick, guys. Dean Evason, the Blue Jackets got it right with the new head coach.
Oh, man. He likes to have a good time. He's pissed off at Minnesota for letting him go. That's my type of guy. I'm in.
He likes to have a good time.
He said enjoy the goals, you know?
Exactly.
I liked hearing that. That was cool to hear.
On the ice and off.
There we go.
Yet to be seen. I think he's a good fit right now for where they are as a franchise. If they can get to where they think they can, it'll be because he helped them get there, and then he'll have to show us if they can get to the postseason that he can break through his own glass ceiling of trying to advance in the playoffs, but let's crawl before we can walk again. I like the fit right now.
The truth shall set you free.
We had Coach Evason on earlier. We just had Paul Keels on, the voice of the Buckeyes. If you missed any of that, type in Rothman and Ice wherever you get your podcast. That'll be waiting for you and a lot more. And don't forget, subscribe to the podcast as well, please.
Please do.
We love you.
All right, we'll come back tomorrow at high noon and do it again. Common Man and T-Bone will take over. Listen in. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked here, right on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Big Ten Action Update. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are tied for the 7th best odds to win the Big Ten this year at 65-1. Tied with Washington. The Cornhuskers season win totals at 7.5 games. Nebraska's non-conference schedule includes games against UTEP, Colorado, and Northern Iowa. Week 1, Nebraska's a 27.5-point favorite over UTEP. For your Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
As a local family-owned and operated company, Newman Roofing takes great pride in providing great customer experience and quality product to every job they do. From the first phone call to the end of your project, they'll know who you are. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and our summer clearance event starts now with 0% financing on the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for details. Hurry in. Offer ends July 31st. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
With approved credit, 0% up to 48 months, tax, title, and $250 doc fee not included.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for Truehold. If you had a crystal ball, you wouldn't agonize over when to sell your home. You would just ask these questions. Should I sell when my home's value is sky high? Or wait and hope that the bottom doesn't drop out of the housing market? The thing is, I'm not ready to move. You don't need a crystal ball with Truehold's Sell and Stay program. You can literally sell now and stay in your home as long as you'd like. When you sell your home to Truehold for its best current value, you can fully cash out on your home's equity, and you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and all the maintenance and upkeep, too. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. You can get an offer now while your home's value is sky high and use the money to secure your retirement, pay off bills, or finance your dreams. It's your money. Do whatever you want with it. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's best value without moving. Again, that's Truehold.com.
Hi, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Need a perfect gift? Check out the new line of Glock watches and other stunning jewelry at Worthington Jewelers. Make every occasion sparkle with Worthington Jewelers, where exceptional gifts await.
Friday, July 26th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Come learn about mental health resources available to you and to your family. Join us on Friday, July 26th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. We'll see you there.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not just a